Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 74, closing
74,
in,
wow.
closing in on the 80 mark. Getting there, boys. We
there
are here. Tornado Tag Podcast. Check out the new banner behind Andy's head. That thing looks gorgeous right here. Brian with us on remote.
like Atlas the whole time.
No, I'm right here. That banner's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, I forgot. He's not remoted in. He's legit.
I'm
sitting
totally
there.
here.
He's totally there.
it's a fancy new layout that I'm Vanna Whiting.
We
right now.
have during the show, for some reason, the audio or the video kind of skips out on us. I hope it stops doing it. It didn't do it for like 20 minutes here, so let's hope it works.
Mhm.
But the video may kick out. We'll notice it and we'll try to fix on the
So
fly
if you
here.
stop moving and you're watching it live, type something.
Yeah. Join us in the chat. Say hi to us. Tell us you're here. Hang out with us. Here's our new layout, the Tornado Tag layout. If you subscribe, all the cool stuff happens up there. Followers, subscribers, donations.
It's Galactus colors. It's pretty cool.
It is. And it, like the lightning bolts because
Yeah, I like it.
tornado, storm, lightning. I don't know. It works.
Weather.
Check out the links below to follow all of us on social media. Head over to our merch store. We just put on zip up hoodies.
Mhm.
Really
They're
nice.
popular.
They have the logo on the chest and then big on the back.
Yeah.
And then we have it for every one of our logos. You can get the old school logo. So check that out. You can head over to Murder My Dude podcast. Check them out. Check that podcast out. They have merch as well. Buy a T-shirt.
I am using the
I was
Murder My Dude coffee mug.
Ooh, wow!
Nice,
How about
nice.
that?
We added the Murder My Dude to the bottom corner there,
Yes.
right by you, and then on the other side is
Nice,
the
the symbol.
blue
Yeah.
and gold. The blue and gold. So check them out. Right now, 20% off if you use the code SUMMER.
I think summer maybe SUMMR. I forget
but
something like that.
if you go to Pro
it's
Wrestling
right on the
Tees,
main page.
it'll
so you
show
go to
right
it.
up. Yeah, so go over and you can get 20% off and get your blue and gold T-shirt.
Excuse me.
Or
Did you
Come
say
on.
the code is ASMR?
Yeah,
it is ASMR. Yeah.
Buy a blue and gold T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably the top shirt in the indie game.
Oh yeah. Well, the top designs. I'd
One-
maybe not stop selling, but yeah,
it's
the
top
design is awesome.
It's a really good design. There's a lot of.
I
Really
would
good
buy one if
independent-
it was like some other team. I was like, that's a really cool shirt.
Yeah, I
know?
think if like because I have a lot of independent shirts. I think you guys are high up
It's
there.
colorful too, which is good.
Dame's shirts up there.
That one's
which is done
awesome.
by the same guy.
Yeah, same. So
And Kit Raff shirt's really good with the kitty.
cat.
with the,
Yeah,
with, and
that's
you get the Jason
that
mask
art's
on
very
it.
good.
Who else has a really good one? I think Adina's is good. It's clean. It's simple.
Mm-hmm.
I like sometimes a simple logo works for me.
Yeah, they're not offensive. You know, they're like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah.
Like, but when a shirt really jumps out, it's like, wow, I gotta buy
Mhm.
that shirt because that shirt's so awesome.
Sambo
South
Show has
Philly's
the
finest.
cool South Philly's finest. The
Yeah.
one without the Eagles logo.
No,
is my-
that's the best one. Oh, we're talking about.
I'm sure there's a Phillies logo one.
They
too.
need a
Yeah.
Flyers one now. They need a Flyers
Yeah,
one.
with the
de
Flyers,
facto
yeah.
Metropolitan Division champion.
But yeah, we have a lot to cover tonight. We're going to talk about some this and hit wrestling.
The underground.
The underground. Yeah, that was
Tornado Tag Underground.
This is
Underground.
Tornado Tag Underground. We have strippers coming later. You
Oh,
guys
my.
see them? They're great.
And they might fight.
Yeah. And then
It's
we're
just gonna be Tony playing like grab the piece of yarn from his dog. That's gonna be Tornado Tag Underground.
yeah. And then if you guys want to check out the other
I'm just gonna
podcasts,
bring like a Sasha and Alexa figure and they'll just dance.
and they'll dance
Yeah.
on the table. Yeah.
with my hands like. "Ah."
You can check out the rest of our podcasts on the IWP network as well. Now that the business is out of the way, we're going to talk
The business.
all things that happened this week in wrestling, and then we're going to do some this week in wrestling history.
Mm-hmm.
No Pro Wrestling Illustrated this week.
But next time I'll have the who was champions in this day in some other
Yeah,
year.
we're going to do.
I want to do that once a month because you can't do it every week because you eventually run out.
Yeah, you run out of months
Yeah.
and stuff. I am wearing my brand new Pro Wrestling T-shirt, Pro Wrestling Illustrated T-shirt. I just got in from ProWrestlingTees.com. My mystery shirt was, I think it's Cody and the NWA title, and it
Really?
and it looks like Zelda, and it says if you want to continue the journey, please take this, and it's him like grabbing like Zelda.
Really, that's awesome. Is it white?
It's black.
Okay, wow. Because I was thinking all mystery shirts are white. That's cool, but you know, Link to the Past is Cody's favorite game. And
Really?
that's why he used to
I
have the
think
Zelda.
that's- I think
He had the
that's what it is.
Triforce on his boots in WWE for like his whole run.
I think that's,
That's
what it's
still
supposed
my
to be.
favorite Zelda game.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's great. And then he
let me
would
go
say
grab it quick while you guys talk here.
he would say that he'd play that game once a year and beat it, which is pretty cool. So, and he
Have you
actually
ever?
go ahead.
This is very not cool in high school, but I got into the Zelda randomizers
Ooh.
about like a year or two ago, where all the treasure drops are randomized, so
Mhm.
you could go to like the main item in a dungeon,
yeah,
and it's
like Master
like it-
Quest.
yeah. So basically, like in the first dungeon, you could get like the hook shot and break the game.
Yeah, but that's crazy. I really like 3. I'm trying to put it back to wrestling, but I don't know how. Oh, Cody did have Zelda themed tights one time too, with their green and like his boots were like
Mm-hmm.
white and brown. And Tony found the shirt here.
There we go.
He's coming
We've
back.
got a
The
shirt.
dog's coming back in too. I'm just going to
It's not
commentary.
the. I could be wrong, but I don't. It's not
Yes?
the NWA title. I think, and now I don't watch New Japan, so it shows that I'm learning.
Mhm.
I think it's the New Japan
IWGP.
U.S. title.
Oh, he did win that.
Oh,
Let's see this shirt right here. It is. Okay, so I'm not sure. It says it's dangerous to go alone, just like when Zelda, when you start and you take the Master Sword. Well, not the Master Sword quite yet.
Yeah.
It is Cody, and he is reaching for the IWGP United States title, which he did win. Which he held at the same time he was NWA World Champion. That's a cool
Yeah.
shirt. I would love that. If I got that, I'd be like, this is awesome.
Yeah, I'm happy with it.
I got somebody for a Christmas gift one time from Etsy, a key holder. Like one of
Oh,
those things
yeah.
you put up on your wall, and it's like it's dangerous to go alone. Take this and you hang your keys on it.
Yeah, and
Nice.
Zelda, there's like, so Link's here, there's an old guy here, and there's a sword in the middle, and then there's just like fires. So basically, it's the same thing. That's awesome.
So
shirt.
so once again, if you go to ProWrestlingTees.com, they do not sponsor us, but goddamn if they want to, we'll take it. Their mystery shirt deals.
Scrum.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
If their mystery shirts are unbelievable, I have not been steered wrong
Yeah.
yet with a mystery
Like my
shirt.
Bulldog one's cool, but I'm like, I don't like Bulldog.
I got a Bulldog one. I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my Tanahashi one, I'm like, hey, there we go.
Yeah. I've got a.
And
I
you
got,
got an Orange Cassidy
I got
one?
a brand new orange cat, like his brand new
Yeah.
freshly squeezed shirt. I
Yeah.
got that one. I got this Cody shirt. I got a Harley Race shirt. I got a bunch of
that
really
was
good
cool.
ones. Yeah.
So it's only what, $10, $10.99, $9.99,
I think
something like that.
$8.99 or
something like
$7
that,
or
a shirt.
yeah, to add a shirt, and it's a mystery shirt, and I've never had a bad one.
So there you
ever.
go. So now you can get 20% off your order.
Yeah,
Sure.
head over and grab a blue and gold, and then get a mystery
Yeah,
shirt.
get a mystery shirt. Maybe
And
you get
tell
the
us what you
LTV
got.
with the blue and gold. No,
Yeah.
I think mystery shirts you don't get any like independent guys.
No,
unless
they're all
they're
main
very
guys.
well known.
Yes, absolutely.
Like I think you have to sell so many to get into the free shirt or mystery grab
yeah,
bag shirt.
or you have to be
territory.
like on TV at
Yeah,
least a couple times.
Which makes sense because I mean, let's say you get a mystery shirt of some guy who just uploaded a shirt and he had like 10 matches and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, who the hell is this guy?
you get the you get like the War Horse shirt, and you're like,
Yeah.
I mean, I watched them once, but do I want a T-shirt?
Yeah, probably not.
This is not a knock against War
No,
Horse. I'm just
no.
saying, yeah. All right, well, let's get into this week in wrestling history, Brian.
Yeah, we have a pretty monumental one to start. This is from August 2nd, 1992. So this was 28 years ago.
SummerSlam?
On Saturday, Ron Simmons
Ooh.
becomes the first black WCW World Champion ever.
He got him with the power slam. He got him with the power slam.
Well, speaking of Harley Race, isn't that who he beat?
No.
He beat Vader.
Oh, he beat
Harley Race
Vader.
is Vader's manager.
Yes.
Okay, that's what it was. Harley Race cut the now would be controversial
Yes.
promo to,
Yes.
and a lot of people were like, "Oh, Harley Race!" Like I guess when like the PC culture went back and started to
Yeah.
go through the wrestling archives, they're like, "Harley Race was a racist piece of shit," and they're like, "No, Harley Race did that to put Ron Simmons over harder." You know what I mean? Like,
They better never watch what Flair said about guys like Rufus R. Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then maybe just skip in south. Maybe just
Yeah.
skip that.
yeah, but yeah.
Don't read the Bill Watts torch talk.
Yeah.
He got
Oh
him
my
fired
God.
anyway.
Yeah, that's a great moment. I mean, that was a
Yeah,
moment that I'd never seen. And then one night we were over at the Blackman's house and
Mhm.
he put it on, and just like the entire locker room clears out.
Yeah. There was
And
like kids jumping up and down.
People lost their
Mhm.
shit,
Yeah.
and that happened down south, right?
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Oh, Baltimore.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, people went,
And-
the arena popped.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went nuts. And I
Ron
think it aired
Simmons.
on WCW main event, but it was really a house show.
Yeah.
And not only is he the first black WCW World Champion, we did the Bearcat Right thing back in February, and that was the WWA. That's like kind of not around anymore. For what we consider now the world titles in wrestling, WWF, NWA, WCW, ECW, even if you want to throw that in, any of those, he was the first black world champion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And only for quite a while.
And then he became a great tag teamer.
I don't think
Superstar.
anyone else in WCW until Booker T won.
Hey,
Yeah.
yeah. Booker was the next one, and The Rock would be the first in WWE.
Yeah.
Well, I know for a while WWF got a lot of heat for
Mhm.
saying that they weren't putting over people of color as champions, and I mean, I think most of our champions now are people of
Yeah.
color. Yeah, I don't. I think the only white champion we have is AJ, right?
No, I think most of them are
Braun.
are right now.
Braun,
Braun, Drew McIntyre.
Well, Braun.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
Braun. Yeah.
I mean, Braun's not American, so that's. I mean, he's.
Well, Braun
he's,
is.
He's not.
Yeah.
He's not a.
He's American.
You mean
not
Drew?
Braun.
You mean
Drew.
Drew?
Drew is.
Oh, yeah,
is-
Drew's Scottish.
Yeah, but he's a
Scottish.
white guy. I
He's a
mean,
white
you can't
guy.
get no more white than Scotland.
Bailey is. She's half Hispanic, right?
She's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sasha's
Half black,
Half
yeah.
black.
Mhm.
The Street Profits.
Apollo, yeah. No,
Apollo
there's a lot of
crews,
diversity.
yeah.
Nakamura's Japanese. There's quite a bit of diversity now.
Cesaro's
Yeah,
from
they're
Switzerland,
getting
like,
better, which is good to see.
Yeah,
Much better, yeah.
but like
And,
I get it. But not to defend, but to defend, like there wasn't many black guys that were over to the point. Maybe they couldn't have been pushed to win the world title.
Exactly,
Something
they-
just happened
yeah.
with the camera.
Did it?
Yeah.
why is
So
it-
I'll continue to talk my point. Like maybe Ahmed Johnson, but like he wasn't that great in the ring.
Ooh, an error-prevented shooting. Turn
Yeah.
the camera off and
Ooh.
on again, or reinstall the battery.
We got only do kayfabe now. We were shooting too much. So I don't know what's gonna happen if you're watching this on.
Hey, I'm
YouTube.
still here. This is great.
Yeah, so just gonna see
It's the Brian Show.
It's the
Yeah.
Brian. Welcome to the Brian podcast, the Brian Pro Wrestling Podcast. Anyway, what was I saying about? There wasn't many black guys that were
Yeah,
over to the point,
yeah.
especially like the mid '90s. I mean, like Coco Beware, like nah, he wasn't a world champion.
No,
If he was a
in
white guy.
yeah, I'm trying to think of like even the first. I think Ahmed might have been the first black intercontinental champion, unless I'm missing somebody.
Yeah, because Butch Reed would have won it, but he decided
Yeah.
not to show up.
Right.
So
So it was like kind of a thing where
yeah, there really
mean-
wasn't any contenders. I mean,
there we are. We're back.
They could have said that, hey, we could have made somebody, but I don't even know who you could have made offhand or like.
Yeah.
don't
Butch
know why
Reed, I
it's
mean,
doing
he
it.
was the
It
Mid
worked
South
for free
champion. He was a
podcast,
big
now
star
it's
down
doing
there.
Piece of shit.
JYD was
Yeah.
that's why JYD is kind of why Bill Watts did that.
Mm-hmm.
Because Bill Watts, when he was running UWF in Mid South, a lot of his big territories like New Orleans and places like that, Shreveport, they were places where a lot of the crowd that was coming was a black crowd. So
Yeah,
he
and
was
of
like,
course they wanted
we're
to see
going to
black
push
champion."
Junkyard Dog. They love him.
And then by the time Junkyard Dog got to WWF, he was kind of
Yeah, it was a joke. It was a joke at that
Yeah,
point.
he wasn't really good at that point. So I mean,
And
could've pushed
And
him
then
to
the
Intercontinental.
angle this night, because Ron Simmons was kind of a mid-card guy. He had the run with Doom, and then Doom broke up. He had the title match against Luger in '91 in Halloween Havoc. But it was kind of out of the blue because the match that night was supposed to be Vader against Sting. And that was the night that Jake Roberts debuted in WCW when he beat up Sting and they did the injury angle. So they bring out all the baby faces and say, we're going to do a random draw, and whoever wins is going to wrestle Vader. Ron Simmons wins the draw, and then he hits Vader with the power slam, wins the title. And he kept it until that December. He kept it for about 5 months, and then he lost it back to Vader on December 30th, two days after Starrcade '92.
and that
Wow.
was that WCW the new title, like because the
Yeah,
world
those were
title
like a
went
tag
away when
title.
Ric Flair left, and then came back, and then it was the international world title.
Mm.
Yeah. So, but Ron Simmons did win the WCW proper.
Cool.
title.
Yeah, the actual proper. Yeah, this was before that. Like when he dropped it to Vader, that was right around the time they were reintroducing the NWA title. Because I think that Starrcade is when they had Muta beat Chono for it. But it was-
Okay.
I think it might have been from either Japan or they reshowed it or something like that. And then Muta dropped it to Wyndham, and that was bringing back the big gold belt as the NWA title.
Awesome. Another weird thing, I guess we could talk about when it get. Well, I'll wait for the show. Go ahead. You can keep going, Brian. Sorry.
Jumping even farther back
idea what's
in
happening.
wrestling history, we're going back to August 1st. Oh, we lost the video again.
Yeah, the video feed. Just keep going because we got.
Yeah,
that-
I'm gonna
we-
keep going.
we got
Hey,
that
I'm on.
audio.
I'm still on camera.
Yeah,
so it's my
just
show
watch,
again.
watch Brian.
God damn it!
guys.
Just watch
as
me.
I try to point to you with the camera. So
I'm the star of the show now. So anyway, August 1st, 1972. So we're talking 48 years ago, rather. On Saturday, Ray Gunkel passes away. And
who's Ray Gunkel? I
Ray
do not know.
Gunkel was a wrestler. He was also the promoter of the Atlanta territory.
It's the battery.
And
pack.
Okay.
Yeah.
he wrestled Ox Baker. And if
Ooh.
you've never seen Ox Baker, this man looked like a wrestler from the 1970s.
Yeah.
Big bald guy, menacing looking giant mustache. And he may have killed Ray Gunkel, for all we know,
Wow.
accidentally.
Yeah.
Ox Baker's trademark move was the heart punch. And
Did he put the arm
He-
behind the head? I always like that. When he got
Yeah,
the arm put behind
like
the head.
like the Undertaker did when it was
Yeah.
me and Mark. Yeah, heart behind the head, just punch him in the chest. And I guess he hit him a little too hard. A little bit later that night, Gunkel just coded out from a heart problem.
Wow.
And they say the punch created a hematoma, which caused a blood clot, which killed
Jesus.
Gunkel when it went into his heart.
Ain't that something? That's crazy. That's a
Yeah.
real freaky thing from just a blow to the chest.
The chest, yeah.
That was how strong the hand of Ox Baker was.
Yeah, and I think they even might have even did a thing in PWI a little bit later where they said he put Bill Apter in the hospital with the heart punch or something.
So they kept rolling with it after he killed somebody.
I think an arm triangle
Yeah.
put Bill Apter in the hospital. If you ever seen Bill Apter,
Yeah.
He's not a big man.
no.
But one of the things that happened after this was Ann Gunkel, Ray Gunkel's widow, She's like, okay, well, he's gone. I'm taking over. And Ray's other partners in the Atlanta territory, which were Buddy Fuller, Lester Welch, who was Buddy's uncle, and the Fuller Welch family. They go way back. They go back to the very start of territorial wrestling. In fact, one of the people, if you remember the Dr. D. David Schultz, Dark Side of the Ring, one of the people that trained him was part of this family.
Okay.
And Robert Fuller, Colonel Robert Parker, is part of this family. Bunkhouse.
Oh, and Brian, we just lost Brian. We're having lots of problems here tonight.
It's a
He
shit
was
show.
saying Colonel Robert Parker, who was Tennessee Lee, who was known for having.
Go ahead.
Am I here?
That was a good time. I was waiting for Brian to come back inside.
I say I'm out here.
I don't know why it's doing this.
But anyway,
It's the universe shitting on me.
yeah, Robert Parker, Robert Fuller, Bunkhouse Buck, aka Jimmy Golden, they're all part of the same family with these two guys. Then also one of the partners was Paul Jones, who was a manager and wrestler in Mid-Atlantic, and Eddie Graham, who wound up running Florida. They were like, no, you're not taking over, we're taking over. So basically they tried to force Ann Gunkel out, and this led to about a 2-year turf war where you had Ann Gunkel, even though her husband was a promoter, she wanted to be an outlaw. But a lot of the people sided with her, including the booker, Tom Ernesto, who was one of the assassins. And they all sided with Gunkel and her All-South Wrestling Alliance. And I think all but 2 of the wrestlers from that territory sided with her, too. But the NWA sided with the Fuller Welch group, which became Georgia Championship Wrestling.
Okay.
And they ultimately went out, and Gunkel's company shut down in 1974.
Wow. Well, whoever the NWA side is, kind of gets the
Yeah,
power
especially
there.
back then.
Yeah, especially nowadays. But well, NWA power, but
Yeah, back then the NWA had actual power.
yeah, power.
August 3rd, 1997. We're not going back quite as far here. So this would have been
Crazy we're in August already.
this would have been 23 years ago on Monday. Was SummerSlam 1997.
Oh, was that the Highway to Hell? Or was that 98?
That was 98. This was the first WWF/WWE pay-per-view to run in New Jersey since SummerSlam 1989.
Oh yeah, because of
The tax thing.
yeah, the tax thing, and then Christy Todd Whitman got rid of that. I remember her. I think she's even on the pay-per-view itself.
Yeah, she was. They made a big deal about it. And this is where, because New Jersey had a tax on sporting events. And that's when McMahon's went to court and like, we're not a sport. They're like, they just totally gave up the ghost on kayfabe to kind of save some tax money.
You can't blame them. Then they got SummerSlam went to New Jersey, so it wasn't as big as it is now, but I mean, it was pretty big.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
And this was the show where Owen Hart lost the Intercontinental title to Steve Austin.
Yeah, when he
That's where Austin hurt his neck.
Hurt his
Very
neck. Jesus.
Isn't also Mankind Triple H in the cage match on this?
In the cage match where China just slams the door on his head.
Yeah. Oh,
That was a rough
And
spot.
he's Mankind, but he rips open his vest and he does the Dude Love heart on him because they were starting to do the Dude Love thing. And he does the Superfly splash off the cage to Triple H to win. Also in this match, or also in the show, was Bret Hart beating the Undertaker in the main event to win his 5th and final WWF World Title.
oh yeah, this is Heart and Soul.
Yes, it is. Yeah, Heart and Soul. This is the one that's in Wrestling with Shadows, where was this the one where they talk to the girl outside that's going to go to school for computer graphics?
It might be.
But basically, the main event was Bret Hart and Undertaker. Undertaker was the champion. Shawn Michaels is the ref. Michaels goes to hit Bret with a chair. Bret ducks. Shawn hits Undertaker. Bret gets the pin. That leads to a little feud with Shawn and the Undertaker, which ends in the very first Hell in a Cell. And then Shawn wins that, becomes the #1 contender, and then beats Bret in the match that has the Montreal Screwjob. So very important things kind of germinated here.
Yeah, that's when wrestling was getting a little hot.
Yeah.
In fact, I think that one WWE video game, I don't know if it was 2K18, 2K19, where you have to replay the Attitude Era, I think they point to that match as the beginning of the Attitude Era.
Wow. Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
And then a little bit farther down the card, Goldust beat Brian Pillman in one of Brian Pillman's last pay-per-view matches.
Yeah.
Is that where where he takes Marlena?
Yeah.
That was after this. This is the one because Pillman lost. He had to wrestle in a dress,
Yeah.
and they did a thing where like you have to wrestle in a dress until you win.
Yeah, he did
And
that for a
Goldust
while.
would always make him lose.
Yeah.
They
and
did
then
get Marlena, and then Marlena
Yeah,
just
then
all slutty. I was like, that's funny.
She was hot.
And then finally he beats Goldust, so he doesn't have to wear the dress anymore. But he gets Marlena for 30 days, and then
Which is
the
such
idea
a
was
weird
I
concept.
said, like, who would you imagine if there was an actual contract for that? Okay, and you sign here if he gets your girlfriend.
You know what's funny?
days.
Like there is still probably dudes in real life, like when they go to a bar and they see a girl and they're like, "Yo,
over.
in their mind, like if they win,
Yeah.
and the
The
girls will be like,
contract.
"Oh, I'm gonna leave everything,"
It's like the contract at the top of the ladder for the country of Dominic.
which is 15-year anniversary.
I know,
He's
how
getting his first match.
How about that? Well, I don't know.
I should bust out some Eddie moves.
I seen Walter come out on Raw and beat up
Oh yeah.
Savage and, what's his name, Buddy Murphy.
Let's hope he's good. I figured for him.
I think he's looked solid from the little things he's done. I mean, it's different than being in the wrestling match, but he's got some explosiveness. He's been wailing on poor Murphy and stuff with those kendo stick shots. So
Yeah, it's gonna be. I think putting him against Rollins is gonna be a good move for him to give him somebody really good to work with.
Yeah.
I think it's the same idea with the we'll get to it later, the Adam Cole match at Takeover. You're putting these really, really green people in, but you're putting them with really, really solid, reliable guys.
Yeah.
Kind of like when Stephen Amell wrestled Christopher Daniels. It's like, well, it'd be hard to have a bad match with Christopher Daniels. I mean,
exactly.
It has to be somewhat athletic. But we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
And the last thing we have historically, and Tony, I know you don't like the multiple champion things. You're going to hate this. August 5th, 1996, 24 years ago on Tuesday, or Wednesday rather, the Great Sasuke wins the J Crown tournament and 8 titles.
Yeah.
In one night, he won 8 titles.
No, well, no, you one match, you win the 8 titles.
Yeah.
And one
Christmas.
was the WWF Light Heavyweight Championship that was went to Japan and stayed there.
Well, it certainly was.
Yeah, how about that?
Basically,
8 titles.
It was an 8-man tournament in Japan, an 8-man junior heavyweight tournament with all these different promotions and some Mexican promotions thrown in. And every person in the tournament was a champion. So the winner of this tournament was taking all 8 titles.
Yeah, it actually comes out on Nitro with all of them.
In a way, that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But like, could you imagine? I don't know. Just I think every single promotion on TV for WWE, there's like a double champion on one of them. It's like,
That's just about
can
it.
we get over this already? Like, stop
NXT
doing
not anymore. But
Yeah, and I think NXT did the right thing
Mhm.
by
Yeah, I like that. We become the greater champion.
you drop the lesser title. I mean,
But
if, for the women's, it's different because it's a tag team.
Yeah,
and a main.
tag team I'm okay with.
I don't mind it as much, but it is annoying.
But then they should have like at the pay-per-view, Sasha and Bailey should wrestle
Twice, absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they did with John Cena, like they did with Becky.
Yeah.
That's Seth Rollins, like they did with Seth and Becky.
When he was both, yeah.
Yeah.
And so basically, we had the British Commonwealth Junior Heavyweight title, which was Liger's title, the IWGP Junior title, which was Sasuke's, the NWA World Junior title, which was held by Masayoshi Motegi, the NWA Welterweight title, which was a Mexican title held by Negro Casas, the UWA Junior title, which was held by Shinjiro Otani,
Oh, he's great.
the War, which was another promotion in Japan, it was Tenru's promotion, the War International Junior title, which was held by Ultimo Dragon.
Didn't he have like a 458 titles at one
He
time?
won the J Cup from the J
Yeah,
Cup from
he had the J Crown and he added to it.
Yeah.
The WWA World Junior title, which was Gran Hamada, and as Andy brought up, the WWF Light Heavyweight title, which was never really in WWF up until this point. It was always in either Mexico or Japan, and that was El Samurai. But Ultimo Dragon did win the title from Sasuke that October, and while he was champion, he also won the NWA World Middleweight title and the WCW Cruiserweight title. So at one point, he had 10 titles at once.
That's insane. But they did.
And then,
They took the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title away from that. Then.
Yeah.
and then WWF's like, hey, that's our title, and they basically demanded it back. And so right after that, they dissolved the J Crown, and Otani was the champion at that point, and he just all he kept was the IWGP Junior title. And then shortly after that, WWF started their light heavyweight title tournament, which was won by Taka Michinoku.
There you go. I think Otani is in one of the Retro Pro Wrestling games.
I always liked Taka.
I like Taka, yeah.
Especially then, Taka was really
Every time him and Funaki were on TV, I was always like entertained.
Yeah.
The only time I was gonna like, oh boy, is when they kind of like,
I don't know what just happened.
I don't know, it's just
they
one of these
dumped
nights.
them over.
No, we're still good.
I don't
Everything's
know,
working.
it's about the computer.
I was talking about Kayatai.
Okay, yeah,
when they
that
did
was-
the choppy penis.
Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Even as a kid, I was like, this is kind of silly.
Well, it was.
And the person doing that overdubbing when they did the dubbing gimmick, Bruce Pritchard.
Oh, wow, how about that? You know what I wonder? You remember Taka was cheating on his wife like 2 years ago, and New Japan suspended him? He's still not back.
Really?
Yeah. And he lives in
Also,
Japan.
Kayatai buddies there.
Yeah, so
Togo
Dick
was
Togo, maybe he'll come back, and he'll be him and Dick Togo and Evil will be a faction. Kai and
Matt
Tai,
Mateo in there.
Evil Kai Leo's still around.
What a night this is, man.
Well, they can just get Milano Collection just to have him turn heel.
There you go,
He's
yeah.
a big evil fan, so.
Kyanti's coming back.
Yeah.
That'd be great. So birthdays.
Yeah,
Jump to birthdays if you're
Yeah, go ahead.
going all the way back to the end of last week, Friday, July 31st, 51st birthday of Kid Cash.
Oh, wow. ECW.
Multiple time, ECW wrestler, multiple time X Division champion in the early days of TNA.
Yeah.
Had a very, very brief cup of coffee in WWE as part of the Pitbulls.
Oh, okay, yeah, I remember that.
Jamie Noble.
Yeah. Real brief. Maybe like 2
Very
months.
brief, yeah. Saturday was August 1st. That was the birthday of Devon Dudley, 48th birthday. And-
Oh, my brother.
And we brought him up earlier. Jimmy Golden, a.k.a. Bunkhouse Buck, is now 70.
Wow. Still kicking. Bunkhouse Buck.
He was around, remember, he was Jack Swagger's dad a couple times.
Was he?
WWF.
Oh, I didn't know that. A mainstay
Yeah.
of WCW from like 93 to like 96.
Yeah, and also like a very, very much a mainstay in Continental Wrestling, which was in Alabama, in that area. Like part of, like I said, a very, very, very storied family down there, the Welch, Fuller, Golden, whatever you want to call it, family.
Deep South.
Also on the 1st of August, 43rd birthday of Yoshitatsu.
Oh, wow. Who's in All Japan right now, I believe. He's been in All Japan. He wasn't New Japan anyway. He was teamed up with Billy Gunn, and they were like the Bullet Club Hunters. Or
Yeah, the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
That was after he came back from the Broken Neck.
yeah. Oh my God, Yoshitatsu and Billy Gunn tag team.
I wonder if Sheamus sent him a happy birthday.
Yeah.
So the second of August, 35th birthday for a guy who's going to be wrestling Ace Austin very soon, Davey Boy Smith Jr.
Wow. What
And
else?
David West Smith Jr. is also going to be wrestling Tony Deppen
I've
very
seen
soon.
that, yeah.
Oh, that's what I meant. Tony Deppen, not
Yeah,
Ace Austin.
okay.
Sorry.
What
Tony
is
Deppen,
that at GCW?
I don't think so.
No.
It looked like it was something else, but I didn't get the name off the little graphic, the flyer.
Yeah, I don't think it was Beyond. I was trying to think of the ones that would kind of run like that kind of circle.
Yeah. I
Um,
don't know.
yeah,
Like,
it's not GCW though.
who knows?
And then also on the second, Austin Theory, 23rd birthday of Austin Theory, who was apparently very quietly suspended and his future may be in jeopardy.
Really? Because I was gonna say he hasn't been on NXT in a hot minute. Like a month.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened. I don't know if they've said what happened, but I guess he ran afoul of something and he's been suspended
Oh,
and his
boy.
future's up in the air.
I wonder what. Unless he wasn't a part of that speaking out thing, so it's not that. Unless he
No, I don't know.
was he?
Yeah, Austin Theory was.
Oh wow.
Oh, was he?
Maybe
Maybe
that's
that's why.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
I know we haven't seen Velveteen Dream because of that.
Yeah. Remember
And
they were saying they might get rid of Velveteen Dream, which maybe because he's been on
yeah, who
forever.
knows? And then Austin Theory is 23. Let's go to the other end of the spectrum. And August 2nd was the 90th birthday of
90.
longtime wrestling announcer Bob Caudle.
Bob Caudle, wrestling fans, NWA fans there. Bob Caudle alongside Gordon Sully. I like Bob Caudle.
Yeah,
90,
he was
wow.
a good announcer. Very, very much just call it straight up. Call it.
Sometimes
as a-
they would
as
have
straight-
like Bob Caudle and Gordon Sully, and then they would cut to like Jim Ross and Tony Schiavone, or Jim Ross. It's like, what is going on? There's
Yeah.
like 4 announcers.
We might be good here. The only thing is,
Some
so
camera problems here tonight.
yeah, and I kind of I'm like, why do people keep jumping in and
It's
out?
ghosts, so make sure you listen to more on
Sh-
Behind
sh-
Illusion
sh- Behind
podcast, the new podcast on the show.
I think see, Streamlabs is not easy to work. So
Okay.
there's a lot of different variables you have to do, and like literally you have to do legit math and figure
Oh,
out your
geez.
internet connection and what you want to put out bitrate wise, but then it's not converted the right way.
Okay.
So you have to like do a bunch of
That's
crazy
why I was
shit.
cutting out.
So when people are listening, it's just
Ugh.
it sounds and looks terrible because the Streamlabs is putting out a shitty image. But
Uh-huh.
the thing is what it's recording for me to put out later is perfect. And if I
Okay.
stop it, it's gonna
Yeah.
I have to then make it 2 parts. So we just got to ride this out. So I'm like, why do people not hang out? But no one gives me fucking feedback.
Yeah.
So if someone typed in like, yo, it looks like shit or it sounds terrible, I can fix. Like I can, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So I had to go on there and look. I'm like, people keep leaving. I was like, all right, so that's pretty much what's happening. But the crazy thing is like the internet's good. So I think what's happening with the camera is I had a plug. So I ordered a plug for the camera. And this
Okay.
means nothing for the people on the podcast, but
which I'm gonna try to put it in the wrestling terms. Describe it.
yeah. So the the thing that the plug was plugged into is getting really hot because the internet line's going through there,
Okay, that's because
and that thing is working.
You're trying to give it a push. You're trying to
Yeah.
give the camera a push here.
Yeah, so I changed the.
But the outlet's
slot.
getting the wrong kind of heat.
Yeah.
It's getting the wrong kind of heat. Yeah. So
Yeah.
hopefully this works. And the
I hope so.
I think the battery pack at first wasn't pushed in all the way. I don't know.
Good.
Hopefully we're freaking working.
You got to
out.
lay it in there. You got to lay
Yeah,
it in.
you gotta
some
lay it in,
pieces.
pal.
Make it look good.
Yeah, I
Who'd
gotta
that camera ever beat?
give it throw a potato at it.
Yeah. Just punch it right
A
in the
literal
face.
potato.
Yeah, a little one. All right. So do we have anything else with the?
Yeah, just a few more birthdays here.
Go ahead.
August 3rd, this past Monday, was the 38th birthday of, I believe he's still the reigning third degree NWA North American champion, Aaron
wow.
Stevens.
Yeah, Aaron Stevens, the former Damian Sandow. I believe he is still. If NWA ever comes back, which I hope it does.
Hopefully.
I know
Yeah.
they need some restructuring when Dave Lagana took off, but I think they can get around it.
And then on the 4th of August, two AEW related birthdays. Dean Malenko, agent now, great wrestler back in the day, 60 years old. And Frankie Kazarian, 42 years old.
Wow.
Kaz from SCU.
How about that? Nyla had a birthday too the other day.
She was in the
I
crowd.
didn't catch that one.
She was in
Yeah.
the crowd during.
Yeah,
the,
she was. She was. Her birthday was Thursday. I forget. A couple days ago. I forget.
Also, unfortunately, she didn't make it very far in the tournament there.
I
for
would
the
blame that on
women's-
her partner.
the
I didn't-
deadly draw.
Yeah, I didn't get to see any of it, but I would probably blame her partner. And I
Yeah,
hope
her and Ariani lost to Anna Jay and
Tay
the
Conte.
debuting Ty Conti,
Yeah,
yeah,
Tay Conte.
formerly Tainara Conti in the
Hopefully
NXT.
that's the last we see of the former Cameron.
And then the other match was Brandy Rhodes and Allie, the Nightmare Sisters, whatever
yeah.
they're called. They beat Penelope Ford and Mel, the girl who used to be with Brandy.
Oh,
with the
okay, yeah,
shaved
she has
head.
shaved head. Yeah, I wonder if she has a little bit of hair now. Hopefully, poor girl.
A little bit. It looks like she has a buzz cut.
Oh, good.
Shaved her head
And
for a
then,
gimmick that
Yeah.
went nowhere.
That was dropped.
Yeah.
Well, it sucked. So.
They better threw her some cash.
And then on Wednesday, so yesterday, was the 59th birthday of Pat Tanaka,
Oh,
former
wow.
AWA World Tag Team Champion.
Yeah, when wasn't he a member of the Orient Express along with the mask guy,
Yeah.
Mr. Kato?
Well, yeah, the original Uri Express was him and Sato.
Oh, okay, Sato, that's right.
Akio
Yeah.
Sato, and he didn't wear a mask because he was actually Japanese. And he was the one that wound up becoming Hakushi's manager later. He was Shinja.
Oh, okay.
And it was him and Pat Tanaka were the original Orient Express. And then Sato left, and they basically went to bring back Bad Company from AWA, which was Pat Tanaka and Paul Diamond. Paul Diamond's American, so he wore a mask and became Kato.
Yeah, and he was jacked. He looked great. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, man, why didn't they do something more with this guy? And they had the awesome music. The very Asian music that
I have some
every
birthdays.
other Asian wrestler used.
And then they did
From
do
that
something
point
with
on
him
in
because
WWE.
he became Max Moon.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, well, woo.
So
Max Moon.
I have a birthday.
We all have birthdays.
Today
Mine was like 2 weeks ago.
today on the 31st is used to be hanging out with the show a lot. Still a good guy. Still friends with him. Outbreak commentator Dave Michael.
Oh yeah, today on the what day is today?
The
8th,
6th.
7th.
The 6th.
It's
On
also
the
Ed House's birthday. Today.
Also Ed House's
Yeah.
birthday.
Nice.
Yeah. Whose house? Ed House.
Happy,
It's-
happy
right.
birthday, Ed. Happy birthday, Dave.
And you can see more of him on Outbreak Wrestling on YouTube.
I forget the exact day. I know he's a big manager, I think, and he wrestles occasionally. One CW and a few other things. Keith Zimmer.
Okay,
his
yes.
birthday, I believe, was I think Monday or Tuesday. I don't know the exact day.
Yep. August 3rd was his birthday.
Okay.
That was Monday. Yeah.
Yep.
Outbreak Quarantine.
Yeah. Yeah, the things I look up these up, they don't really have a lot of local people, and I
Yeah.
don't have a lot of
Well,
them. I'm not as friends with as many of them.
Yeah, especially as my
That's what it
level,
comes down to.
you
If you
know,
want your
yeah.
birthday ready, you have to be my friend on Facebook.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the stipulation.
Yeah, if you're an independent wrestler in northern PA.
Yeah.
Anywhere in PA.
And in addition to Ed House, in addition to Dave, today is also Rebby Sky's birthday. She's 34 years old.
Oh wow.
Wow.
How about that? My heart
And
is
it's
wife.
also Tony Nese's birthday.
Wow.
35.
Tony
I like
Nese.
Tony Nese. I don't like his
I don't like his
open ab jacket he
I don't
wears.
like his
but
gimmick. Well, I like that because it fits his gimmick, but I don't
I
like
just-
his gimmick.
I think the jacket looks like a bra.
Well,
Looks silly.
it's supposed to show off the abs.
Yeah, I get it, but it just looks silly.
What's his tagline? Like, what's his Stone Cold?
No
He
idea.
has one. I forget what it's called.
I have no idea. So, who knows?
Wasn't something about like the athlete or something? I
Yeah,
forget.
something like that.
Premier athlete.
There's a guy that would benefit
That's
from
it.
maybe a little bit better name.
Yeah,
Yeah, because his name kind of sucks.
he's the beginning evolution of the chain for Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
And then it goes
And
to
to Elias,
Elias. Yeah. You're not on camera. You're good. You can come in.
It's like Altered Beast.
Heidi's sneaking
Heidi,
in the
she
shot.
has a Monster Mania shirt on.
She is wearing a Monster Mania shirt. How was volleyball, Heidi? Good?
Heidi said there were a lot of fans, a lot of heat. She said it was jam-packed, hanging from the rafters.
Everyone was there.
Yep.
Bob Caudle was there. He's calling it.
Yeah, Bob Caudle was calling the action.
All right. Well, let's. Do we have any? You have a little. You want to wait till the end for that, or you want to get into this week in wrestling? You say you don't have your champion thing. Okay, not a problem. Well, we have more time then to talk about what happened this week in wrestling.
Okay, why don't we talk about Marty Jannetty?
We can talk about Marty Jannetty.
Jeez. Oh no.
So Marty Jannetty, just we woke up. How did you? I'll let Brian describe it. The way he posted it was amazing.
I forget what I exactly said.
Like he woke up in the morning, the birds were chirping, and
yeah, the sun's shining, the birds chirping, beautiful day. I kind of stuck at home, but I'm used to it at this point. And Marty Jannetty apparently confessed to a decades-old murder,
And possibly another one, or what he's working on.
And he may have alluded that he may have killed his estranged girlfriend,
or he wants to.
Yeah.
Or if
Or
she
at least he wants
or
to,
if
yeah.
she keeps messing with him, he will kill her.
Marty's the best on Facebook, man. He just posts some out there outrageous stuff. Some people are like he has mental health. I just think he's nuts. Or not nuts. I think he's nuts from drinking.
Yeah.
Not nuts like he
might.
He might have. Who knows?
It may
I'm
have
not trying
carried
to,
over. Yeah. I'm no
discredit
doctor.
mental health, but just imagine so he said he was 13 and he was buying weed off a guy at a bowling alley, and the guy was a known gay guy, and then he took him around the back and he thought the guy was gonna rape him, so he beat him up and killed him and threw him in the river.
The Chattahoochee River.
Yeah, Chattahoochee in Georgia. He's 13.
13.
Buying weed
in a bowling alley.
yeah, off a guy that he kills. Like what? I think it's one of the more so a tall wrestler tale.
I think he really wants to be on Dark Side of the Ring, is what it comes to.
I think they could do it. They did one on Hawk, and Hawk didn't do anything evil or anything. He just did.
You could do a ton about Marty. You could just do one about all the times Marty Jannetty got fired because he messed something up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And his whole banging his stepdaughter and stuff. But,
Or, where he's
And
like,
that guy was a good wrestler, but he could not keep it together.
yeah,
how old is this girl? I really want to bang her.
yeah. Marty is very you could take the guy out of the South, but you can't take the South out of the guy. So
Yeah.
he is Alabama.
I
Georgia.
think the greatest thing
100%.
Sean did was be like, you know what, man? I think we need to separate.
Yeah.
I think
What if Sean went through that window? What would the world look like in an alternate timeline? Marty throws Sean through the window. Marty versus Undertaker at WrestleMania.
well, didn't it turn out that Sean Marty Jannetty told Sean that he was getting an offer from WCW? So Sean's like, well, if they're giving us more money, let's go.
Mhm.
So then Sean, I guess Marty Jannetty shut his mouth off and told WWE that we're out of here, we're getting a better deal. So then he called and goes, well, what's the deal? He goes, I don't have one. I was bluffing. He goes,
Yeah.
I'm fucking out of here, bro. Like, you're gonna ruin my career too. And he just went to the WWE. And he's like, listen, Jannetty's acting crazy.
Yeah.
What he said does not inflect me, and they're like, maybe we should do the split. You know what I mean? Like,
It's just for the best. you
yeah.
know?
So I mean, Jannetty's seems like he's been kind of off his rocker for a while.
Yeah, he probably always
Well,
was.
even before that, the Rockers came in at one point, and they got fired right away because they were so crazy, like partying and stuff.
Yeah,
And then they gave him another chance and brought him back not that long after.
yeah. Interesting.
Marty.
Any other wrestling news going on? I didn't really. I'm being honest. I didn't really look around.
The Marty
much.
was the big.
Yeah, the Marty
Yeah, that
thing
was
is
the big one.
huge. Marty just
Yeah.
confessing to a murder, possibly.
And apparently the police are going to look into it now.
I mean, they have to, right?
Yeah.
Like that can't. They just can't let that go.
Yeah, but I think that's a tall wrestler tale. And we drank 100 beers and drive 99 miles an hour to the next town.
I actually watched. I got HBO Max, and I just watched the Andre the Giant documentary.
Okay, I've never seen it.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, I heard it's very good.
It's sad though. Like
But yeah.
they're like, yo, could you imagine just? I mean, I mean, I can kind of relate with the joint pain, but I can't on his level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
You're not 7'4".
But I also
7'3" or whatever.
he everywhere he went, he was uncomfortable. Like they
Yeah.
didn't have a bed for him, a toilet for him. Like when he was on a plane and he flew and he went everywhere because the way it worked back in the day, like Vince would loan him out to other companies, so they would go all over the place. He
Yeah.
was Brock Lesnar of what in modern day times where he's not always there.
Yeah.
But instead of that, because there's no internet or TV, he would kind of bounce all over the place. Can you just reply to this? I'm recording. I'll get back to you. I can't even read it. It's a lot
Tell
going
him
on.
to F off.
Yeah, it's one of your friends.
Tell her to F off.
But
Would
yeah,
she ever be?
so I guess the ones like what they used to say is like he would be on the plane and he'd have to relieve himself, and he drank a lot because he was in pain and he was uncomfortable. So what he would do is like they had to pull a curtain. He couldn't fit into an airplane bathroom, so he would have to pull. They'd have to pull a curtain. he'd have to use a bucket,
Yeah,
and then they would have to dump the bucket into the toilet.
Yeah,
like,
that's crazy.
Like, man, that's just like,
what a life.
How embarrassing would that be? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
They say when he was in Japan, because the bathrooms and the toilets are so small there, he would just use the bathtub as his toilet.
Yeah,
like that's embarrassing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, maybe eventually you get numb to it, but like, could you imagine like you have to go to another person you don't know? Like, imagine if he walked out of the store, the store flight attendants were just really good looking girls. You know what I mean? You're like, hey, I'm a big superstar, and now I'm gonna get naked in front of you and shit in a bucket. Like, there's no coming back from that.
Yeah, well, they used to say you used to take pills to not shit on the flight, and then wait till you land.
And then
and this is another reason why Andre always had a handler.
Yeah, he
at first I think it was Frenchie Bernard, then it was Tim White, who was another who was a referee there. Andre always had a guy with him, like a handler, and another guy that did that was Giant Gonzalez, who was even taller than Andre. He wasn't like as big as Andre got later, but Giant Gonzalez had Bill Alfonso doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And Bill Alfonso would also ref all his matches.
Come on, Daddy. Come on, Daddy. Go in here, Daddy. You can do it.
So it was a good story. It was a good story just to hear how Andre came up, but it was a lot of just like, you don't realize how, and like people would fuck with him. Like, he'd be in a bar and they'd be making fun of him. And then he would, like, I don't know how true it is, because once again, like the documentary also said, like, every time an Andre story happened, it was always embellished. But, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and they're sensationalizing too for the documentary.
Yeah. So one of the, I mean,
is this the HBO one you're talking about, Tony?
Yes. So even Flair said for a long time, he said he always thought he had two stomachs and stuff like that. Like, he's like, I believe that for years. Yeah. But supposedly there's a story where he was in Hamburg. And
he was in Hamburg.
He was in a bar, and I guess a bunch of local kids were just being dicks to him in a bar. And Andre was like, "You say one more word, I'm gonna kick your ass."
Yeah.
And the kids are like, "Yeah, fuck you, you big, you can't catch us." And the guys like Andre kind of stood up and went at him, and they ran. And they got in their car, but they couldn't get out of the parking lot in time. And Andre caught up to them before they got to start moving. Yeah. And Andre flipped their car.
Can you imagine
They
that?
said it wasn't like a big car. It was like a compact, small little like Volkswagen bug style car. And he dumped it on its side.
So the bar used to be right in the corner because they'd come down from the field house, and I don't know, that intersection in Hamburg there where the movie theater is. It was like right on the corner there. I think it might still be a bar there. It's brick, and apparently they have pictures of all the wrestlers still.
Really?
Yeah.
I would love to go in there and check it out. But yeah, supposedly he turned the car on its side. Now once again, it's all rumor.
Was it a Beetle? Because if it was a 1970s Beetle,
I think if it was a small enough car and it was light enough,
or if you're pushing it,
he had enough momentum. He could probably turn. Not put it on its roof, but he could put it on its side. He could put it on its door.
Big Show could flip a Geo Metro. I think
So that was one of the stories where he was kind of he would just get harassed everywhere.
Which is a shame.
And it would legit hurt his feelings. Like, he would shed tear over it. Like, he would cry over it. Like, it bothered him. But yeah, so I watched that. I want to watch the Flair one. I'm still trying to look for that one.
40 for 40 or whatever it's called.
30 for 30.
That was close.
Yeah.
If you have ESPN Plus, I know they have a lot of those on.
Yeah, I seen it on ESPN Plus, and I also seen the.
That might be a bootleg on YouTube.
The what is it? The Bruce Lee one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have to check those out. But yeah, man, that was that's what I watched. Just kind of wrestling related. It's the only thing I really have.
News-wise, and this is more corporately than anything else. WWE. They have named a new president and chief revenue officer, Nick Khan. No relation, I think, to Shad or Tony Khan.
Yeah, ain't that an interesting last name? We can't hire him.
Nick Khan is going to be their new president and chief revenue officer. This is like a kind of a coup that they got this guy, because he was a big deal at CAA, which is one of the big talent agencies. It's them, and then Endeavor, which is the company that owns UFC now. Okay. They're like your two big talent agencies in show business. And he was their head of TV development. He's actually the guy that got them the really good TV deals. This last TV negotiation, and now he is the president of the company. Wow. He's going to report directly to Vince.
There you go. Especially if like he won't be doing booking or anything, so like his job is pretty easy.
I mean, he hires people to do booking, but they don't do their jobs anyway.
No, I mean this guy.
Yeah. Obviously, Vince is super hands-on with the booking side of it, and then his deputy's going to be like Triple H and Pritchard. And
so this guy probably got a good job, just try and keep the TV deal strong, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, Raw was up a little bit. NXT was up. AEW did really well this week.
Yeah.
AEW is up over 900,000.
That's good for wrestling overall.
With NBA and NHL playoffs, right? Or no, they're not in playoffs yet, right? NBA's not in playoffs yet.
NBA's not playoffs. NHL is. There's like a round robin. The top 4 teams in each conference are just playing for seeding, and then the 8 teams below them are playing for their lives, basically.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, it's good that wrestling's starting to pick up. I wonder do you know how Impact did their numbers? Are they starting to pick up now that they're back and they're getting
Access TV does not belong to Arbitron ratings.
Yeah,
or,
so apparently
Nielsen ratings.
their viewership for the channel itself is so low that they don't deem it worthy to keep track.
I am very disappointed that I got the Impact Plus and I have to wait a week to watch their show.
So they're always gonna be behind.
That's kind of stupid.
Yeah,
you know what I
and
mean?
they're not. They should do a deal with Hulu.
If you're just getting it to watch the show, Tony, I would recommend, and it'll be a little cheaper, I'd recommend canceling Impact Plus. And if you just want it for the weekly show, subscribe to their Twitch channel. Do a paid like $5 a month subscription. It's going to be like $1.99 a month less, and I think you can watch Impact on demand through that.
Oh, okay. On Twitch, yeah, live.
Maybe I'll just do that. I want to keep the Impact Plus too, because I like watching older stuff and kind of.
There's a lot of good older stuff on there.
I think you can watch it archived. I'm usually recording Murder My Dude when Impact's on, but we're in between our seasons. Every 25 episodes is a new season.
Yeah.
And we take a week off, so I actually watched Impact this week, and it was a pretty good show.
Yeah. I mean, I like their roster a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think their roster is what gets me coming back. Like I know, like they seem like they're maybe not always the best organized company and stuff, but I think roster wise, they have a lot of really bright spots in there that keep me coming back. But let's get into SmackDown this week.
SmackDown, the big thing here, you had 2 big title matches on SmackDown.
We can go match through matches. We'll go quick.
And I know just going from what we were talking about in the chat, I think everybody's a big fan of the opening thing they're doing.
Love the opener. Love the opener.
Like the Saturday Night's Main Event style. We're just going to have quick little cuts.
Yeah, they should always do that.
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome, especially for the Royal Rumble, because that was the big thing. And the ECW do it at the end, and they'd play that.
Well, Raw kind of did it, but it was kind of like, it was like previously on Raw type deal. And NXT did it too, but I think SmackDown's promos were awesome.
Yeah, and that's
awesome.
10 seconds.
Yeah,
if
you
can't do 10 seconds, I'm coming for you. That's it.
It was amazing. I loved it.
But even like, if you tape 5 of them and only one's real good, but the rest are okay, it's still like overall. It's like, oh well, overall it wasn't bad.
And it gets these people better on the mic.
Yeah, and it gives them something something about them rather than like, hey, what do you know about Apollo Crews?
Yeah,
and maybe it'll make them figure out that sometimes a little 10-second clip is going to do more for character development than the 10-minute promo.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd rather take 10 minutes in the beginning of the show and do those 5 or 6 storylines of what you're carrying over.
Not even 10 minutes. 5 minutes is fine. Like
Yeah.
the ECW ones, like they did more goofy stuff, more character development. If you ever go back on the network and watch the old Saturday Night's Main Event, they would have like just the people that are going to be wrestling each other, talking and hyping it up. It's almost the same thing.
It was awesome.
And they were always great.
Yeah, sometimes it'd be like Vincent the Big Boss Man versus so-and-so.
It was so good.
You're going to be having a hard time tonight, brother. And that's it. And you're like,
and if it was a cage match, they do the promo behind the cage. It was amazing.
Yeah.
They need to keep doing that.
And they should do the thing, too, when they have the wrestler and behind them is their graphic. And
yes,
they're superimposed. Like, so
Yeah.
you don't see the background, so the background will be anything. They should
I would love that. Yeah. I think they like the background, an empty arena, like the backstage look. I like
that graphic.
That's why we have.
Yeah.
So I joined
it
a
made
live.
wrestlers seem important, right? It just made them seem like larger than life.
Yeah, and it's also subliminal. Like, oh, that image is really cool for Big Boss Man. I'm seeing that shirt's out. And buy
That's
shirt.
why we do the banners.
There you go.
So the funny thing is you'll like this, Brian. So I was in a group chat with Mad Max Morrison, and I guess I was talking. I forget the gentleman's name, but he does a podcast in the area, and we were kind of just bouncing ideas off each other.
Conrad Thompson.
I wish. But this guy's super nice, man. We're gonna link up. He's gonna teach me some stuff. He said making a website is probably our best bet. So I have to figure out how to do that. I never did one. So
from what I've heard, the easiest one to do that on is Wix.
GeoCities.
Yeah, but I had the
Angel
webcam.
Fire?
I had the webcam turned, and he's like, "Yo, can you kind of pan your camera around?" And I kind of showed him the layout, and he goes, "Those curtains are cool, man. It looks like Saturday Main Event with the curtains and then your big banner." And I'm like, "That's kind of what we were going for." Yeah. But yeah,
they
so
should just go back to this. Like, look at a show then and make today's show that.
yeah,
That's it. Because there was no.
It just felt like an event.
Yeah, there was no cursing. There was no people banging. There was no it was PG.
yeah,
But it was great.
yeah.
Except for that time Andre had a heart attack.
Yeah, I mean, there's some, not everything was great.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it was much better than what we got now.
All right, so let's get to our first match.
And the first match on SmackDown was quite good. AJ defeated Grand Metalik to retain the Intercontinental title.
Very good match. I was very impressed. I think I like what they're doing with Lucha House Party. I think they're both talented, and I think giving them the work is fun.
So which one was it, Lindsay and just Grand Metalik?
It was just 1-on-1 for the U.S.
It
title.
was AJ against Grand Metalik for the Intercontinental
Okay, wait, I
title.
mean, but who was with them? Was all Lucha there or no?
Just the
Okay.
two. Well, the other guy, Sin Cara's gone, so it's only the two guys.
I thought it was
Kalisto. Kalisto.
Yeah,
has a better
Kalisto, yeah,
Isn't he one out though? Samurai Del Sol?
maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's Kalisto. Yeah,
Okay.
he hasn't been around. Grand Metalik is Massacre Dorado.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. They should give him a metal gimmick. And so he's like Grand Metalik, but he's like the metal.
I love
the
I think
metal
they-
luchador.
I feel like they changed their look up a little bit the last couple of weeks, and I like it.
But he
Yeah.
has his hair out now.
Yeah, he kind of
Yeah.
has like a Liger look a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah, I like
That
it.
four-way the week before, though. Oh, I love that four-way, and I thought Lindsay looked amazing.
I
in that
agree.
four-way.
I would honestly, man. I know everyone's like, oh my god, this is stupid Lucha House Party, but I'm like, they're guys who can work if you let them, and I think they're
Yeah.
letting them.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think SmackDown has some bright spots in it. I think if they're letting people work instead of just kind of saying we have COVID and we instead of just banking on our 2-3 top stars, or letting other under guys get shine.
Why not?
I think it's good for them.
Limited who you can use.
Yeah.
So use them.
All right, what was our next match?
After that, there's a little backstage thing where it's not a bounty, it's a king's ransom, but Baron Corbin has put out a king's ransom on Matt Riddle, and he's trying to talk Shorty G into claiming the king's ransom.
Yeah.
You had a promo with Jeff Hardy where he's talking about how he doesn't have to deal with the bully Sheamus anymore and all this stuff, and Corbin interrupts him, and so that kind of leads to Corbin and Drew Gulak is our next match. Corbin wins the match, unfortunately. And then Riddle comes in to try to beat Corbin down later, but here comes Shorty G, and he attacks Riddle.
That German
So,
suplex that he did springed off the ropes was awesome looking.
Yeah. So the bright lights
Everything Chad Gable does
here.
is awesome.
It's
looking.
Chad Gable versus Matt Riddle.
That'd be a
I'm
fun
fine
match.
with that.
Yeah.
That'd be a great
I am
match.
okay with that.
Hopefully they drop that Shorty G though.
I know. Yeah, that's awful.
Terrible.
Vince watched an old episode of Married with Children with Grandmaster B. And he's like, is there any way we can take that, put it on somebody? God damn it.
Yeah, but that was a. I mean, the King Ransom thing is not the worst thing ever. It is pro wrestling, so I don't
Yeah.
hate it.
It's a bounty gimmick. They've been
Yeah.
around for decades.
$50,000 to the
Yeah.
man that can bring me. Well, who was after somebody's head? Who
Flair.
was- yeah, Flair.
Anyone.
Flair's head.
Kabuki.
Yeah. $50,000 right here.
I think we got
cold
I
hard cash.
think we got it going here. We've been going longer than 30 minutes.
That's gonna be my thing. I'm just gonna impersonate wrestlers, be good or bad.
Yeah, like
I
Conrad.
thought you were just going to start putting
Bruce
bounties on people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, look out, Cortez Castro. There's a price on your head.
Yeah.
yeah.
$50, baby.
$50 cash, U.S. currency.
So our next match.
Next match, it's the start of the Big E singles effort, and he defeats The Miz.
Good match.
Good.
Biggie busts his mouth
Do you think
open a
they
little
should
bit.
change up Big E a little bit? Like maybe he should come out and say something a little different, or change it up a little?
No, because I kind of like the
They're
fact.
kind of making it that he's the reluctantly being a singles wrestler.
Oh, okay.
I kind of like the fact that even though they're not part of a team, he still has that pride for his team.
Yeah, not to be like completely different character, but like, I mean, yeah, that's great. You're the tag team champion. So now you're going for a
maybe-
singles title.
Maybe
I think
if
a
he's
lot-
going to turn heel, maybe if when they come back, he's like, no, I was better off without you, when he turns heel, I think
Yeah.
that's when you make the change.
But I like the fact that like even when they're not together, they still have the pride of their group.
Which is all right, but I mean,
Mhm.
they've been together for 7 years now. It's time to wrap it up.
Plus, they're still doing the podcast. and
Yeah.
I mean,
everything.
like, I get it, but like, if,
Xavier Woods is pushing to possibly be a part of the new G4 that's coming back.
oh really? Well,
Yeah.
they probably will. He's a big video
Uh-huh.
game guy.
Yeah.
What if it's
It-
him and Kenny Omega? Oh my.
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
I think if he got the G4 gig and they paid him enough, I don't think he'd come back.
Who?
I don't think they're
Xavier?
going to pay him enough.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
think they're gonna
yeah,
pay him enough.
yeah.
Yeah,
They probably.
That's most likely going to be a
shit.
digital channel. It's going
Yeah.
to be like a giant bomb type thing, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. All right, next match.
Next match was Naomi defeating Lacey Evans.
Hmm.
Take it or leave it.
Was it all right?
It's all right.
I like both.
And
of them.
then, oh, go ahead, Danny. Sorry.
I was just gonna say I like both of them as wrestlers. You know, I know a lot of people will give Naomi
I
a
think
chance.
It,
They're-
it is weird that they did the whole Lacey turn heel like real quick.
Yeah,
but
kind of.
she's
abrupt.
better. She's better as a heel.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And then we did have a big angle after that backstage. Mandy Rose and Otis are going for a walk. Otis kind of leaves her, tells her to get ready for their dinner date. But as
Oh boy, and Brian.
Hold on,
cuts
Brian.
off.
Hold on,
So
Brian.
as Brian does that, I think the Mandy Rose and
Try
Otis
now?
thing.
Nope. I
Nope,
have to
Brian
physically.
is
I have to
muted.
physically change it. No, it's
Like,
so stupid.
Without
You're
fans,
good.
I think the
right.
storyline's kind of dead. Okay, jump back in. You said something where Mandy Rose and Otis go out for a walk.
Yeah, Mandy Rose and Otis were going to dinner, and then Otis kind of walks away, lets her get ready. Here comes Sonya Deville to attack. She smears lipstick all over Mandy's face and cuts off quite a bit of her hair.
Oh,
It was all extension.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I was saying, bro, what do you think?
And I think Mandy Rose, luckily her hair, her top broke.
Oh boy.
Yeah, she
Hey,
almost.
now.
Oh yeah, I did notice that.
She
Yeah.
almost had a problem.
This wasn't live, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
she almost had a problem.
But I think without fans, this storyline is kind of.
And
It
it's
is.
kind of weird, like, because what are you billing to? Are they
Yeah,
gonna do a hair match?
yeah.
Like, I doubt it.
Yeah, no, I
Like,
doubt the hair match.
I don't think. I know Sonya Deville's trying to get acting roles. I don't think she's gonna want to shave her head. I don't think
No.
Mandy's gonna want to either.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't make even if they don't
Just
if they
a
both
one-off-
don't want to
just-
do that, just don't.
just a
do that.
one-on-one blow-off regular
Yeah,
match at
that's
SummerSlam. We'll
fine.
call it a day.
But I don't know where you go with the Mandy and Otis storyline. You know, you would think that the heel that fights Otis.
Well,
and
now they're
wins the
doing
title,
they're bringing
still
heavy
is Mandy.
machinery back to kind of because after this happened,
Yeah.
Miz and Morrison kind of cut a promo and make jokes the whole time, and then heavy machinery kind of chased them away.
Okay.
So I think they're leading that heavy machinery is going to be a tag team again,
Yeah.
and they're going to go against Miz
But I
and
mean,
Morrison.
if you turn
Quick
Tucker,
question about
Tucker
Miz and
heel,
Morrison.
Who cares?
Quick question about Miz and Morrison. Have either of them won a match since WrestleMania?
I
No.
don't no.
And I love it. I don't know. They
And I
haven't.
love John Morrison. He's been amazing.
Yeah.
They're-
Talk
It's like,
about
man, they're not giving them anything.
bringing a guy back and just totally mishandling him.
They're mishandling him when it comes to wins and losses, but like
And storylines.
he's just dude, even when the storyline like they're purposely like they're doing the Rusev thing to him. Where like we don't know what we want to do with you, so we're gonna put you in the stupidest shit ever. But they're making it
Yeah,
work.
But like, look what it did for Rusev. He
Yeah.
left.
He
Yeah.
eventually got pissed and left. But
Yeah.
I mean, literally, it just really shows how talented Miz and Morrison are
Yeah.
because they're put in this situation where it's so bad and cheesy and it
Mhm.
shouldn't work, and they're making it work. Like it's funny. Like that music video they made,
I didn't see it.
the Hey Hey Ho Ho video was hilarious. Like it was real like, and you could tell like everything about it is like fed to them, but they're just
Mhm.
like we'll make the best of what we can. Like, yeah.
Absolutely. John Morrison has great timing. The Miz has always had great timing as a.
I think them being good
talker.
friends too helps.
Yeah, it does.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. What was our next segment here?
Our main event, the main event match was Bayley defeating Nikki Cross to retain the SmackDown Women's title. After the match is where the big thing happens. Bliss is trying to console Nikki.
This is
Nikki
cool.
just shoves her down on the mat and walks away. And then here comes the Fiend. And
Yeah,
he just kind of stands there with his hand up in the air. And then, oh my goodness, they're actually doing man-on-woman violence,
Yeah.
mandible claw to close the show.
Love it.
It's supernatural.
It was good.
man.
It was good.
What do you do with this now? Does Fiend have Alexa like captured?
No.
And then Braun saves her?
I think this is just he's goading. Everyone's like Alexa Bliss is now going to be Sister
no,
Abigail.
no,
No, Alexa
she can't.
Bliss as a
And she shouldn't be.
and I think the whole like
Isn't Braun still dead though?
Yeah, Braun died.
I think they don't know
Yeah.
where he is. So I think this is the Fiend's
He's
way.
Yeah,
lost
he's
in-
dead.
Yeah, I
He's
think
at the
this
bottom of a swamp somewhere.
I think this is the Fiend's way of trying to see if where he is and trying to goad him out.
Wanted the Fiend know because he killed him.
Yeah,
Bray kind of cut
Or
a
did
promo in the
swamp
beginning.
current take him away?
That's what they're trying to say. Like they searched the river for him and
Oh,
they can't find him.
So now he's like, I'll beat up Alexa and he'll show up.
no,
Yeah.
the alligators ate him.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to
Yeah.
say. Yeah, but
Unless he was saved by Skinner,
Yeah.
and
there
now
we
he's
go.
being trained in the ways of Skinner.
but I think this isn't Alexa Bliss turning into Sister Abigail. This is,
No.
if anything, I think this is Alexa Bliss like going full babyface. Like,
Yeah.
and she even breaks away from Nikki Cross and maybe gets to some singles push again. You know, I think this is the end of the Nikki.
Maybe it's a way to separate them. I
Yeah.
don't know.
If anything, maybe like she loses her mind, Nikki, and she
She
not
turns heel.
not Sister
Yeah,
Abigail,
but
but
she's
maybe
just crazy. Yeah.
goes crazy
Yeah.
again because she was a better character when she was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's my opinion, but I thought it was a good ending. I liked it. All right, let's get into Monday Night Shit Show Raw.
Oh boy.
Raw
Oh boy.
Underground. So I actually had to tune in to watch this one. I didn't watch it live. I watched it on Hulu, so I missed some stuff.
So it
out.
cut like an hour and
Yeah, and
45
then I
minutes
fast
up.
forwarded through some stuff too. So
Yeah.
I'm like Jim
probably
Cornette. I
better.
see it. I'm like, fast forward,
They're
fast
all right. So I always try to find bright spots. I'm the Mr. Positive.
There are a few here. There
forward.
are a
Yeah,
few
there
bright
are a
spots
few.
here.
The Randy Orton and Drew promo was very good.
There are some really good things, but the bad definitely weighed it down.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get into it. First things first.
So running theme on the show here. At the very beginning, they have some technical issues that they blame on the weather. Lights are flickering and
Yep.
things like that. And that plays into the match that is our opener here, where Apollo Crews defeats MVP to, I guess, unify the titles, technically retain the title.
Not a bad
never
match.
actually
That's what I
lost it.
thought. Not bad. It wasn't offensively bad, but it wasn't like great. But it was. I was like, this is all right.
It did its job.
Yeah. And then Apollo wins both titles and said he's gonna retire the old one, give it, hang it up in his kid's room because.
Yeah. And then he's gonna keep the new title because the new
Yeah.
title looks amazing.
I wouldn't say amazing.
I like it,
I would
It's
say,
alright.
even though
it's
that
all right.
penis drawn out in
It's
it. Now I
a little
can't.
phallic.
My eyes
Yeah.
can't get rid of it.
Yeah, not amazing. But the old one was amazing. I thought I liked the old one a little bit more, but I get they want the old titles look like. But,
Yeah.
Hey, good for Apollo Crews.
Yeah.
Probably not the best promo, but
Yeah, it was a weird, like, he kind of got cocky there with
Yeah,
the promo. It was a
yeah.
weird angle. All right, next thing.
Elsewhere on the show, we had Asuka swearing revenge on Bayley and Sasha. We have Shayna Baszler laying out Sasha Banks with a punch.
Like that a lot.
And the next big spot we have is, well, you also have Kevin Owens in the back kind of talking shit to the Iconics. And those two are always great on the mic,
Yeah,
so that was kind of fun.
Kevin Owens doesn't make Hulu, so
Yeah.
he's not important. Apparently,
We had the KO show where he his guest was Ruby Riott, and he pulled the old Jerry Springer, Sally Jesse thing. Well, we brought your estranged friend.
Oh.
Here's Liv Morgan.
And honestly, Ruby cut a really good promo.
Really good.
She's like, listen, I came back. You didn't need me anymore. I lost you. I lost Sarah. I was lost in my ways. I haven't won a match. I want the right. She even's like, I have a tattoo on my leg and you have one on the back of your neck. The day we came up, like, I was a really big Riot Squad fan. I loved them. I thought they were a cool team. I thought they were a fun team, man. I thought they were.
I thought they were really mismatched.
Yeah, me too. I was like, there's three people that never hang out in real life.
But that's
And
why
apparently they're really good friends.
Yeah,
that's why I liked it though. I thought they had a cool little dynamic, and I think now that when she got hurt and Liv got to kind of make herself her own little thing, and I think them coming back and they're more on an equal playing field.
Didn't really work out for Liv, did it?
I think now
Didn't work out for Sarah.
Well,
definitely didn't work out for Sarah.
But I think Liv's new character joining the Riot Squad and not being so much Ruby's lackey, where now they're equals and they're a solid tag team. I'm excited to see the future.
But Liv's new character is.
When she has to get in the ring, her character's lost. She doesn't know what to do with the character.
Well, they don't know what to do with the character.
Exactly. So, but her ability in the ring has gotten better.
She got a little bit better. Yeah.
She had a great match with Charlotte. She had a great match with Asuka. Like she's showing she can take top level people to the limit.
I wouldn't say great match.
For
That's
her
good.
skill level and being how young
Good.
she is, I thought they were good.
I wouldn't say great.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not great, but they were good matches.
She's not offensively bad. She's not Cameron.
No, honestly, I think.
She's not Lana. In the ring.
She's not a lot of
Yeah,
horrible.
I think if those two become
She's not Billy Kay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Billy Kay's pretty bad.
Exactly. I think if those two become a team again, and Ruby's not.
She
Ruby's
get
good
better.
in the ring.
Yeah, Ruby's very good.
I think that can be a future tag team champions.
Yeah, especially
Yeah, I
because
can
they don't
see
have
that.
tag teams.
Yeah.
And then do you think they should have a different name then because it's only the two of them?
Maybe instead of being like, well, it's not so much Ruby Riot.
Yeah,
maybe
because Riot Squad's both of them. Like,
Yeah.
maybe a new name, whatever it's called. I don't know.
they'll probably be
Crazy
lazy.
Girls.
They'll probably be lazy and just making the Riot Squad
Yeah.
again. But I would give them a fresh new thing.
I would give them a new name. Yeah.
Because the Riot Squad is the reason they made it the Riot Squad is because that was kind of her lackeys.
yeah,
And now that she's no longer a lackey, she's beaten her twice, so
Yeah.
she's no longer under Ruby. She's like. I mean, it was stupid when it was going, but now like the end game to it seems like it's making sense. Like I'm no longer your lackey. I'm no longer your just a girl out here with a blue tongue that gets beat up and take all the big bumps.
that's
like,
the hottest one out of all of us.
That's the hottest. Yeah. So she's on an equal playing field, and I think it'd be really fun to see that tag team back.
Yeah, I mean they could use female tag teams. So
Yeah.
why not?
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Poor
And
Sarah.
then the reunited Riot Squad did defeat the Iconics in the next match.
And honestly, Iconics are the greatest team to go out there and bring a team back because they go out there and say the things that make you cringe, like, "Who? I can't believe you said that."
Yeah, and they are good, entertaining.
They are.
Maybe not as wrestlers.
Good
but
on the mic.
Yeah,
They're good on the mic.
yeah, they're very good on the
They
mic.
play the annoying girl very
Yeah.
well. You know, not the greatest in the ring, but they're
No.
an
Peyton's
entertaining.
a little bit. Well, she's
Peyton's pretty good, yeah.
Peyton's much better than Billy Kay.
Yeah, but they do their job of being entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, next segment.
Then we have the backstage thing with Charlie where they see a trunk has been overturned.
Oh,
People heard a loud noise backstage.
a trunk overturn.
Oh,
What?
no.
Somebody's making a mess.
What will
They're
become?
making a mess.
But then MVP walks by and he said, "That wasn't me. I want a title
Yeah.
shot."
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah,
and then they say,
he's
"Yeah."
mad. He blamed the power outage on him losing to
Yeah,
Apollo.
he's like, "I didn't knock that box over where all the garbage is placed nice and neat, and where it was clearly not knocked over."
Yeah. This
After
was
that was the highlight of the show, I think, by far, which was the Drew McIntyre promo on Randy Orton.
Yeah, so Drew's out there and it's not really going, but then it starts going. I'm like, okay, this is good. And then Randy Orton came out and I was like, this is really good. And Ric Flair came out with Randy Orton.
And then it cut to another promo, which was good, backstage.
I'm trying to think.
Kevin
Nia
Owens.
Jax?
Kevin Owens.
They edit that out of you, so at that end of that thing, they go to commercial.
So, well, there was a Nia Jax thing, wasn't the greatest, but then it.
That was
if I have it out of sequence here, I'm sorry, Brian.
Then they just teased it. They teased the Nia Jax thing. The Kevin Owens thing was next.
Yeah. So the Kevin Owens thing, Flair comes up and says, "Hey, man, I think you're super talented. I think you're one of the best guys in the locker room. But this is me coming to you as Ric Flair. I think you need to stop trying to fix everything for everybody, and I think you need to go out and work on yourself and be a champion and be the Kevin Owens you should be." And he goes, "You know what, man?" He goes, "I don't want to be like your boy Randy Orton. I know I'm talented, but if I can help two people get back together and help the next guy get better, that's what I'm here for. I'm unlike Randy." And he goes, "You should watch what you say." And he goes, "Well, you know what? I'm not going to watch what I say. And next week, I want to fight Randy Orton." So
Kevin Owens loses next week then.
Kevin Owens loses
because
next week.
Randy's going for the title. But the Randy Drew promo, good building towards that match at SummerSlam. I would assume Randy probably wins the title at SummerSlam.
Yeah. Randy wins, but it's probably not going to be clean.
Yeah, that's what I'd say.
Yeah.
But poor Kevin Owens. If I was him, I think depending on money, and if he cares about money, I'd be like, I'm going to leave one of my contracts.
I think he would be a great fit in AEW.
Yeah, and I wouldn't blame one bit.
Yep. I thought Adam Cole was leaving.
After that was when we had the Nia Jax thing.
Yeah, the Nia Jax thing.
What, did she challenge somebody?
She's pretty much.
She had braids in her hair. Yeah. She's actually on my shirt. Not that I'm wearing
she beat up.
Shirt was $8.
What's his name?
She called out Pat Buck because of what happened last week, where she blamed Pat Buck for breaking up the match, and I guess she hit Pat Buck afterward, and she was like, "People want me to apologize to you," and she made fun of Pat Buck for being a ginger, made fun of his size, made fun of him not having a good career.
It's funny, like, with all the way the world is, why can't you make fun of gingers? That shouldn't be right? I mean, I don't care, but I'm just saying, you know, the way the world is now. Oh,
Jesus, she said ginger.
You can't help the way you were born.
Ginger's going to be like the next offense. Like
it will be,
big word, so you wait and see.
The G word.
The G.
There is a song by an Australian comedy artist named Tim Minchin called Prejudice. Look it up and it'll
even though we're saying this today, in 2 weeks when it becomes offensive, we're already canceled.
Hey.
All right.
So Nia basically, she lured him out there to say she was apologizing, but she doesn't, and she's like ragging on him for never really making it. So she basically challenges Pat Buck to a match. He's like, "No, I only came out here because I thought you were going to apologize to me." So she beats up Pat Buck, and now she is indefinitely suspended without pay.
Yeah.
So maybe Nia's hurt or something. She needs off 2-3 weeks.
Some people think this whole thing was because Pat Buck is, I guess, close with Cody, and they're just kind of punishing Pat Buck for being friends with Cody.
Yeah, well, that will show Cody.
Yeah, that'll get him.
Yeah.
Cody learned his lesson now.
Yeah.
One thing we kind of neglected to mention here, somewhere along the way, R-Truth stole the 24/7 title.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's because, when MVP was in the back looking for that mess that was clearly not a mess.
That's right.
Over,
so
Shelton came over.
So they
someone stole my
They have one of those. They have one of those official formal matches for the 24/7 title with Tozawa, Shelton, and R-Truth, where the rules are suspended. It's only this match, and so while this match is going on, nobody can like run in and steal the belt. And Tozawa has his group of ninjas out there, which is important later. And so the Hurt Business, MVP and Shelton and Lashley are all beating up the 4 ninjas outside. While this is happening, Tozawa hits R-Truth with a senton off the top, gets the pin, and runs off with the title. Tozawa is a 2-time 24/7 champion.
Nice.
And then
I do like the Hurt Business, though.
I do like the Hurt Business. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the stable.
Mm-hmm.
And then we finally get a peek at what Shane McMahon's up to.
Oh,
this is also very important. He says, tonight at 10 o'clock, this is important if you watched it live. Tonight at 10 o'clock, we'll see you for Raw Underground. You see some people like kind of grappling, doing worked MMA behind him on a ring with no ropes. Very blood sport if you watched GCW Bloodsport.
Or Sanctuary if you're in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Sanctuary. Yeah. Normally they have ropes. So.
Yeah.
And then they did a little recap of the Dominic Seth Rollins angle. But the next match was Sasha Banks and Shayna Baszler fighting to a no contest because we had a double run-in where Asuka comes in and attacks Bayley as Bayley's kind of getting involved. So they just throw the match out. It seems like SummerSlam might be Asuka and Shayna against Bailey and Sasha for the tag titles.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I don't want Asuka and Shayna to win, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I would be okay with them winning, and then you just have a match where they put those titles up against the 2 individual titles.
Oh, okay.
Whatever way this works, I hope Shasta drops the main title, to either Asuka or Shayna, and then it turns into Shayna versus Asuka again on the main roster.
Oh, cool, yeah. And,
I think that's a Mania match.
And to be pervy, Sasha was earlier. She came out with a black dress and she looked smoking.
Yeah. She's
very
attractive.
I was like, whoa.
And she's good in the ring.
Hey,
There's
now.
just certain things about her that just annoy me. Like where she threatened to leave the company.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she came back and they gave her every belt. But anyway, go ahead, Ryan.
So the way they kind of explained the way Kyrie's saying, they said Kyrie is okay, but she's not here. So I guess that's the end of Kyrie.
Why didn't they kill her? Like, why didn't
they should have killed her?
Like, yeah, I mean, now they're big on like killing people, but you don't really die. But if you're gonna leave the company, then kill them. You know, why didn't Dexter Loomis should have came and killed him?
Yeah, or they could have fed her to an alligator
Yeah.
during the swamp fight.
Yeah, or Fiend could have devoured her soul. You know, might as well.
Yeah, she's not coming back.
Yeah, so what does it matter?
Ever. Yeah, the Fiend should have killed her.
So then we
make an
had
appearance for no reason.
this all set up a match next week where Asuka will wrestle Bailey, and if Asuka wins, then or if Asuka beats Bailey, then she gets a rematch against Sasha Banks.
So these 4 women, I would say, one of the only highlights of the show. Because,
Yeah,
Sasha and Bailey are entertaining to watch. So is Asuka and Shayna.
Then I guess they had somebody with the Bachelor that was backstage, and Angel Garza was kind of hitting on her, and she was smitten with him.
Oh yeah. Who cares?
I kind of like that where AJ Garza's just he's just stealing elbow.
I mean, I like that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. But
I like that only Zelina kind of no-sells it, and every woman thinks he's like God's gift to women.
Yeah.
And she's like, you're
Like,
nothing.
He's like Ivar, but they're playing it straight.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm into it.
So then we do get Raw Underground, and the reason I brought up they said it was a 10 because they went to Raw Underground at about 9:55, and it was a 4-minute segment, so it was over by 10.
Well, I mean,
So if you're like, I got to tune in at 10,
you missed it. That's awesome. Oh man, that's like WCW right there.
So when they had the idea of Raw Underground, right, and they first cut to it, and they show the 2 guys get in the ring, and they kind of had their match, I was like, okay, I'm into this. But I have a fear with this too. Now, I've never really watched a Bloodsport match.
Mhm.
If your whole league is Bloodsport, then that's one thing. But I think trying to put something like Bloodsport into already established pro wrestling company, I think I like when pro wrestling and mixed martial arts blur the lines where it's there and it looks like, okay, that transition looks good on the ground.
Mhm.
But if you get to the point now where if I punch you, now you come back and punch me right away with no
Yeah.
problem, but then you do a Bloodsport match where a punt or a kick or a literally kick to the face or a punch immediately knocks you out,
Yeah.
and then I put you in a rear naked choke and they tap like they should realistically,
Yeah.
and then I watch it on pro wrestling and
It kind of
a
takes
guy can hold a Kimura in for 3 hours.
Yeah.
It's like, no. Like I feel like you're toting a very dangerous
You're
line.
hurting the wrestling because that's
Exactly.
what I said. It's like if you advertise something as a shoot fight, then it says all their fights are fake.
Exactly. So
Right.
it's that's where
And they never came out and said it's a shoot fight.
Yeah, I mean,
They just
yeah.
kind of wrestled
clearly
a different
this
style.
worked MMA matches.
so like when someone goes out and throws one big boot or one big punch,
yeah,
you know what I mean? And then especially if some of those guys are your talent, your NXT talent that you want to eventually do something with later on,
yeah,
and now they're there getting just
knocked out.
knocked out in one punch.
That's the problem with all these matches. They're all like 10 seconds. Like okay, but like
Yeah.
you see that once, okay. You see it twice, all right. By the third time, you're like, enough.
Yeah. So for
You want it's like Bloodsport wasn't all that. Bloodsport is like competitive matches that
Yeah.
go for the normal, like 10 minutes,
Mhm.
and they're entertaining. It's not just one-sided job fights.
Yes. So that's
Right.
that's where I would be really really afraid to blur that line.
Yeah. 'Cause
Like
how long can you really do that?
exactly. You know what I mean? Like all right, so Bobby Lashley goes out there and puts a punch on somebody and they're dead, but then
Yeah.
he comes out and punches Randy Orton
Yeah.
and they have a
It's
15-minute
yeah.
match. You know what I
And
mean?
plus, like they started this Raw Underground. I mean, it looks cool, except for the strippers are kind of like, well, that's
the strippers
kinda,
were stupid.
it's
The
very out of
strippers and
place,
the music.
and
It
it's
just
like,
didn't- but people
The
bang-
camera cuts killed me.
Yeah, yeah,
It,
the camera
it
cuts are
gave me
terrible.
motion sickness.
the camera cuts were like the idea of what they were doing in the ring was cool.
Mhm.
I liked it. I liked the no ropes. I liked where just like a bunch of guys in the back just fighting. I can
Besides
get
the dancing girls, I think the ambiance is pretty cool. It's
Yeah.
like a change of
Yeah.
pace.
it had really good potential.
They shouldn't have
just get rid
started.
of the stupid shit.
Yeah, they shouldn't have started with the big guy who apparently is from Star Wars, Babakota or whatever.
Yeah.
Dabakato.
That was
Dabakato.
he was Babatunde or whatever.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The big guy that was in the Saudi Arabia Rumble.
Yeah.
From NXT. Yeah. So they gave him a very Star Wars name. Like you start with him, you're like, who the hell's that?
Yep.
Why do I care? And plus, you got Shane bouncing around, doing commentary, announcing, and apparently running the thing. So you're like,
well, the very first thing you see is Dolph Ziggler, and it looked good. Like what Dolph Ziggler showed in the ring, were him versus
I thought
a dude.
the first match was that Babakota.
No, the very first thing they showed before commercial when they showed it was Dolph Ziggler shoots a takedown, takes a back.
That was later.
Oh, was
Yeah,
it
that was
later?
late, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I thought Dolph was like the third one.
The first time they showed Shane was just two random guys in the ring.
You're right.
And then the first full thing they showed, even though it was really quick, was that Dabakato guy just beating two unnamed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when they put like the main dudes against people, that was cool to me.
I thought what's his name looked a little bit better, the Viking Raider.
Yeah, where he just like need the dude.
Yeah.
I thought he looked pretty good, but at first I was like, "Wow, who's this guy?" I'm like, "Oh, it's one of the Viking Raiders."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
him and Dolph were cool. I think when
Dolph, I was kind of like, Dolph's just so beaten. I'm like, okay, now he's an MMA tough guy.
But he legit.
I mean, it looked good.
Like legit though, knowing that he's an actual wrestler.
Yeah.
He made it look as if that was a really mismatched MMA fight.
Yeah.
Like that's how I feel it would legit go down.
But by that time, we've already seen, that was like the third one. We've already seen, what, 3 or 4?
Yeah.
Because the guy beat 2 guys that were 10 seconds. It's like, all right, can we get maybe somebody with a little bit?
But I'm saying,
back.
as an MMA fan, the Dolph one looked as the most legit out of
really?
anybody.
Okay.
Yeah. Would you agree, Brian? Oh, hold on. Sorry, Brian.
Brian's muted here.
Sorry, this fucking Zoom thing. We may have to abandon the Zoom. I have to figure.
Do something else. Or maybe Skype would be better.
We
For
could try it,
voice.
Go ahead, Brian.
It was a little more, I think, big match oriented, or authentic looking, because the other ones are just very much centered on big strikes and things like that. So yeah, the Dolphin was pretty solid, and the other two, they're trying to make this Jabberwocky guy, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
They're trying to make him look like a
Boba Fett. Yeah,
Boba Fett, yeah,
like,
the Mandalorian.
But like you need a promo video. You can't just throw somebody out there and be like, "Hey, this guy's great. He's kicking ass." I'm like, "All right, why do we care?" And then I'll just skip right to the end. So like, I guess I don't know if you want.
Yeah, we can just talk about the underground thing. Just take it all in one.
Yeah,
the Hurt Business comes in and there. First of all, welcome back, Dio Madden. Shelton Benjamin's just going to take you out.
I he got in there and I was like, this guy looks awesome, except for his insane plaid pants. I'm like, why did they let him wear those stupid pants? But I mean, if you're just getting beat up, then whatever.
I have a feeling that where this is going is, and I felt this at the end, and maybe it's too soon to do it for SummerSlam, but who knows? Maybe it's not where it's going. When they're the Hurt Business kind of standing there and Lashley's standing tall, it's like, who's going to stop him?
Oh, Brock.
I was waiting for Brock. Yep,
Yeah.
I was waiting for Brock.
Maybe that's the build-up of this whole thing, just Brock Lashley, and they have a
like
competitive
a Bloodsport type match.
Yeah, Bloodsport match.
I would be fine with that.
I would be fine with that too.
I would be 100% fine with that.
That might be pretty good if it's Brock and then
like,
but don't have Shane bouncing around. No, we're not going for this move. Like treat it like Bloodsport does, where it's like
that.
Okay,
that is
real.
something where if you rein him in, and I don't like the guy.
Uh-oh.
Morrow
would do
and
good
like
there.
Samoa Joe and calling that match.
That'd be good. That's how they should have treated. They should have treated it all with a little bit more
reality.
seriousness.
Like if you want to make it gritty and real, don't cut the camera a million times. Don't make it goofy.
Yeah.
Just make it like these guys are just fighting, no frills.
Yeah, like UFC, there's not some guy bouncing around doing commentary on the loudspeaker.
No.
You know,
It was like if MMA met the N1 mixtapes.
Yeah, and like arcade MMA.
Yeah.
I guess you could say.
Listen, I think there's a lot of things you could do to tweak this to make it good.
It was Def Jam Vendetta. There
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
But you know
Except
what
that
I
game
did?
was
Like,
really good.
The Hurt Business comes and like, okay, we're gonna take over now. Why would you want to take over something that just started an hour earlier? Why do you give a shit?
Well,
And
they're
if
the
you're
Hurt
taking
Business.
over,
They
why
want
are
to go
you
beat
taking
people
out
up.
Shane?
Yeah, I get that, but like,
Yeah.
I just opened a pizza shop. I've been open for 1 hour. You come in, I'm gonna buy this? No, you're
I'm
not.
staying the hell away. I'm staying the hell away from pizza shops right now. No,
Yeah.
thank you.
But I'm just saying, like, why? What would possess them to take over?
Yeah.
Nothing, because
And then Shane was like,
for an hour.
And then Shane was like, "Well, thanks for being a guest on the show. See you next week."
yeah, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, it was just so convoluted. But
Yeah.
I think there's potential to this. I just think they have to iron some stuff out.
Yeah,
They need
to
make it a little
go
more
watch
serious.
Bloodsport and be like, let's make this. If you want to do it right, we gotta do it serious. And, like,
Agreed.
we're gonna cut the Raw
Watch
Underground now.
Minoru and Josh Barnett and do that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then give people like we got so and so.
And if you want to bring a Daniel Cormier in, like you know what I mean, like now you can kind of.
Well, you can bring them guys in, but like, can they work a fight? I don't know.
I'm sure if Daniel Cormier's like, hey, I'm going to go to this thing, and Josh Barnett's like, I can help you do it. You know what I mean?
Josh Barnett can absolutely work a fight.
Yeah. But I mean,
he's amazing.
Josh Barnett ain't gonna help anyone in WWE right now. I think.
Yeah.
And you were away, Tony. But the thing I said is, I when it was at the very end, we kind of skipped to the end of these segments and kind of talk about them all in one.
I like it. Thank you.
When Lashley was standing tall, I'm thinking,
Lesnar.
Is this how they bring back Brock?
Yeah.
Is Brock going to come in and just be like, all right, you're on? Then they have a...
I'll keep going.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'm all for this idea. But you know what was weird? Like when MVP's like, I want to get in here. I want to dance some of this. And he's like, all right, you're going to fight in your street clothes.
Like every single week, the Hurt Business, like maybe like another 2 weeks, Hurt Business is like, here I am.
Yeah.
I mean, SummerSlam, Lesnar versus...
It probably won't be SummerSlam because that's only, 3 weeks away?
Like 2 weeks away.
Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know if they'll hotshot it that quick.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you have like another week or two of just like Hurt Business takes over this show again, and then my name is Paul Heyman.
Yeah,
and you guys think you run this? Well, my partner, the Beast, Brock, and it's just like, what the dude? That would make that segment the greatest thing on wrestling right now.
But the other thing it reminded me of was Battle of the Tough Guys from No Holds Barred.
Oh yeah, it did.
I think Zeus was involved with.
Or they're trying to kind of tap into Brawl for All, but not.
Well, I see a lot of people.
I was waiting for Zeus to come in and kill Stan Hansen.
I got 0 Brawl for All because that was like a legit real thing.
That was real. That they were really fighting.
And this is clearly a work thing. And like, I don't get no Brawl for All in that. Brawl for All is
don't hold it against them
because like this isn't real. They're not saying go out there and choke them out for real. So
and please don't make it real. That would be bad.
I don't make it the connection. I didn't like when Shane was talking to the strippers and then like they were starting to fight. I was like, we can fight next week. I was like, oh, so we getting stripper 1 versus stripper 2 next week? Because I want that match now.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I want is if the strippers are like indie wrestlers, I want Shayna Baszler coming in and just beat up all the strippers.
Is Shayna gonna be in this?
Like, this is stupid. Get out of here. You want to fight? You gotta fight.
Is Ronda gonna come back and be in this?
Ronda versus Shayna, but they're doing the.
Is Shayna gonna fight dudes?
Yeah, she should. I'd be cool with it. All right, let's get to the next thing here. I'm sorry.
The next thing was the thing I hated the most on this show.
Okay.
We had a whole thing with Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins coming out. They're going to do individual singles matches.
They're so obnoxious, not to interrupt you, and annoying.
I told you, it's getting bad.
The key thing here is that Montez Ford takes a sip from his red Solo cup and sells like, ew, this doesn't taste so good.
Yeah.
So the first match is Angel Garza and Angelo Dawkins. They have a decent match, and Dawkins has the advantage. And outside, right in front of the announcers, Montez Ford just faints. He collapses, and Dawkins is distracted. Garza hits a drop kick to the head, rolls him up for the pin, and somehow, even though he just collapsed out of nowhere, nobody even near him. You're okay to wrestle Montez Ford, and he's in the ring,
and he pulls it together for most of the match.
What kind of doctors are they?
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, and then he's fine. He's beating Andrade. He's got the upper hand on Andrade. Hits the big tope con hero. Comes back in the ring, shakes the ropes like the Ultimate Warrior, like he always does.
And the poison
and then
kicks
he falls like Shawn Michaels after. Falls like Shawn Michaels after that attack in Syracuse.
Yeah. Oh God,
Jesus.
Maybe they're gonna do a Montez Ford "Tell Me a Lie" video.
There we go. Oh, yeah, he lost his smile.
Is this the new stable that's poisoning him?
I don't know.
Maybe
it's Raw Underground.
I think that's where it's gonna go.
That's what, because like they never clearly said if it was the new stable or Raw Underground that was causing the power outage.
The shitty thing is they kind of pulled an AEW and said that the new stable you've seen throwing the shit at the thing is the new stable, and they're called the Rebellion or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So they don't talk about it all in the show.
You see video of like them throwing like Molotov cocktails at a transformer.
Yeah, but they never said the new stable knocked over that box with the clearly nice junk play.
During the show,
it might have been
going on live. I sincerely thought it was the ninjas again.
Yeah.
Like, why are the ninjas throwing stuff at a transformer?
Yeah, so did I.
They were dressed the same.
Maybe the impact of the hits of Raw Underground were so strong that they were knocking out the power.
Maybe. All right, what's our next thing here? Well,
they had
the backstage
there's an undercurrent here. There's an undercurrent here of Dominic has challenged Seth Rollins for SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
We do have a thing where they do check back with Charlie Caruso and this is where we find out that Montez Ford was poisoned.
Yeah, because Bianca.
Well,
says so.
Real quick, going back to that Dominic challenge, the Seth is doing great in the mic. I kind of like this character. I'm into it. The whole Mysterio thing is stupid, but if it leads to Dominic getting his debut in the company, so be it. But here's what annoyed me. So Seth Rollins then challenges Samoa Joe to a fight. Samoa Joe acts like he's going to get in the ring. Then Dominic comes in and does a 2-on-1, and then Joe just goes, he's good, and goes and sits back at the commentary table. like not help because it's 2-on-1.
Well,
he just like Dominic's
because he
good.
doesn't care.
Yeah, and then he goes back to the table like it never happened. So you build this.
Seth was threatening Tom Phillips. That's why he was.
Yeah, so like the whole thing was Joe's gonna act like this huge tough guy, but then sits back and watch Dominic fight two guys by himself.
Wow.
I was like, what? That makes no sense. Like if Joe's this killer, he'd have been like, I'm already at the point where I'm up.
And then he looks at Dominic and says, You stepped on. I'll take you out too. You know?
Yeah. Like if Joe's already at the point where we know Joe's a killer, right?
Yeah.
And Joe is already at the point where his jacket's off, he's ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Joe's the type of guy there's no turning back at that point. And then for him to just be like, 2-on-1, cool, I'm gonna go back to my table.
Yeah.
Like I just didn't like it. Didn't like it.
That's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
That was worse to me than the poison, to be honest.
There's certain things I think you just should never do it in wrestling, and poisoning your opponent is one of them. Like, he was poisoned. I'm waiting for like there's gonna be a match where like just say Dolph Ziggler's wrestling anybody. He's wrestling Elias, and all of a sudden Elias grabs his neck and somebody hit him with a blow dart. Like you might as well do that.
And here's the thing:
Baron Corbin just hit him with a blow dart. Well, they actually did that when they shared the Big Show set. So maybe
the beer or whatever drink he had in the Solo Cup was tainted, but he danced all the way to the ring with the Solo Cup and didn't notice.
Yeah, it was just done weird. All right, what do we got next?
Next we had the Hurt Business saying they're going to be going into the Raw Underground. You did have the thing with Dominic and Samoa Joe and everybody that was next. From there, we had Dolph Ziggler's part in the Raw Underground, and everything we talked earlier about how the Hurt Business came in and took over. So basically, that was everything on Raw. We just kind of did a little.
That was the main event.
Cool. All right, let's get into. You want to do AEW or NXT?
Real quick, let me just run through like some of the very, very quickly speed around what happened on Impact.
Okay, cool.
The self-proclaimed TNA World Champion Moose beat Heath to retain the or self-proclaimed TNA champion. Sorry, Moose beat Heath to retain the title, and it's one of those things where Heath is now still unemployed. He had to beat Moose to keep his contract, and they did make Heath look strong. He had a lot of visual 3 counts, but there was a ref bump, and then from there we got another EC3 promo. His feud is going to be with Moose. Basically, he's as a former TNA champion. He wants to beat Moose for the TNA World title so he can get rid of it once and for all. They did a little sit-down interview with Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin with Jimmy Jacobs. They're just kind of talking about like how they came back together, and it's all to set up the North, kind of making excuses that they were champs for so long and they weren't at their full capacity, so that's why they lost. And so basically, they're saying they're doing a big special in 2 weeks called Emergence. And that's going to be one of the big matches there. Is going to be the rematch for the tag titles. Also, Deonna Purrazzo and Jordan Grace are going to have a rematch. They did more of the Wrestle House thing, which is like this worked reality show. They're doing very, very much for comedy.
Yeah.
Ty is trying to get everybody together to bond. They're doing a thing where
I think it's funny.
Where Johnny Bravo and Rosemary have a thing for each other, but Johnny's afraid that that Ty is going to get jealous. Johnny Swinger's just hilarious. I know Matt Turner's a big Johnny Swinger fan. He's just a total throwback.
And he
winds
suplex.
up
Cool. How do you say it? Hold on. I'll pull it up in the chat.
I don't know if it was this week or last week, but somebody said, "No way, Jose." And Tommy Dreamer said, "We didn't sign him."
Yeah, that's it.
I was like, "That's pretty."
Tommy Dreamer's like the host. Like he comes in for the competitions.
He said something like
Alicia
suplex. Oh, is Stan Hansen here or something silly like that?
Yeah, Alicia Edwards and Susie beat Johnny Swinger in a handicap match. Kylie Ray's character just wants to get out. She's like, I'm the #1 contender. I need to leave so I can go get my title shot. And she can't leave. It's almost like they're in hell. Like they're in like the early Phantom Zone or something.
Yeah. Oh, here it is.
For X-Men fans, they're in the Mojoverse and or Mojo's TV
there you
show.
Go,
yeah. We're going to get flagged.
Bob Orton's here, Superplex Daddy.
Eddie Edwards had a open challenge for the Impact title. Sami Callihan answered. They go way back. Sami legit busted his face with a baseball bat at one point.
Yeah, I remember.
Eddie Edwards gets to win here. When Callahan came out to answer the challenge, RVD attacked him from behind, so that's another feud they're building toward, RVD and Sami. Kylie Ray beat Rosemary back at the Wrestle House. which is like an outdoor ring, and they actually have a crowd, which kind of gives it a little more life than some of the Impact Zone stuff.
Yeah.
Like the matches in the Impact Zone, they do suffer a little bit because it's like the original quarantine WWE shows where there's no crowd.
Yeah,
at
they
all.
need to put some people there, or at least pipe in some sound or something, because it's like I zone right out.
Borrow the sound effects from the match between Randy Orton and
Edge.
Edge.
I've noticed AEW's definitely adding some sweetening.
Yeah, I think
there's no way that many people are making noise.
Yeah, I think they're all sweetening the sound effects now, which kind of adds to it.
Yeah, like even the sports are doing that. Like hockey's doing it, basketball's doing it. TJP and Falaba, the Filipinos coming together. They beat Chris Bay, who's the X Division champion, and Rohit Raju. TJP beat Chris Bay, and so they kind of made the note that if he does that one-on-one, he's the new champion. And then the big thing at the end is Rich Swann comes out for his major announcement, and his announcement is that he's retiring.
Wow. Did something happen? Because is he?
Really he got his leg beat up again. Now he's hurt.
Oh, okay. Is it work retiring? Is it retiring like Rusev's gonna be a Switch streamer now for the rest of his life? Brian's cut off.
Oh, sorry, Brian.
Yeah. Now we're gonna click on the things. We're gonna figure this out.
We'll finish
on dropping Brian's
ahead,
audio.
Yeah, it didn't whatever happened last week. Whatever we did last week, it didn't happen last week.
I don't know. Literally nothing has changed.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, he announced his retirement. It's totally a work. He was legit hurt at first, and then we came back at Slammiversary. He did an injury angle with Eric Young. So he does his big retirement. Everybody comes out to congratulate him. And he stands out on the stage by himself to do the final goodbye curtain call. And he gets jumped by Eric Young. And Eric Young breaks a crutch over Rich Swann's leg. And everybody, like the whole roster goes after Eric Young. So his whole thing is he's like so despicable that everybody hates him.
Oh, okay. You know, it would be great if Rich Swann had a salmon-colored jacket on for the promo.
He wasn't putting one over. His whole thing was like, I was ready to go, but God damn it,
but
I'm getting my revenge.
Mark Henry wore the salmon-colored jacket when he did his retirement promo and then beat up John Cena.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
I would have just did a little tease to that.
Yeah. So I think we should do AEW first since NXT had the big angle at the end.
Yeah, go ahead.
So AEW starts with a 16-man tag.
Yeah.
Which that's a lot of tagging.
A lot of people. Yeah. You know what I don't like? They do this thing now in AEW. I hate it. Where like, if you tag in every member successfully, you can all be in the ring at once. No, that's not how it works. You tag that guy, like you tag, and if you tag again, then you got to switch places with that guy. Not everyone gets in the ring.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Cool. Well, it actually worked against them, possibly.
So yeah, this match is the Dark Order. So that's Brody Lee, Colt Cabana, Evil Uno, Stu Grayson, 5 and 9.
Oh, 9 was absolutely awful. Go back and watch this match.
I don't know I forget which Young Buck it was. I thought he was going to die before he made that last minute adjustment to catch him.
Yeah, if you go back and watch the Dark Order guy that's fully clothed, who like they probably just got some random guy. I'm like, you have people in the audience right now that are better than this guy.
Yeah.
Who is this? Why is he in the ring? He was so bad. Especially when
5 was good. 5 is Alan Angel.
Yeah, he's good. Right, but there's 9 guy. Like he couldn't even. Like, he looked totally lost. And they did that corner spot, the New Japan corner spot, where guys keep it running the corner. He ran in at the same time as 5 did. I was like, what the fuck? Like I would have just threw him out of the ring and be like, you're gone. Go to the back.
Yeah, you're hurt the rest of this.
In fact, my friend just texted me and he goes, that 9 guy is absolutely terrible and terrible in all caps.
You just got that now?
Yeah, he's watching AEW now. Here, put this long sleeve shirt outdoors in Florida and get out there. And he goes, also, that 10 dude is huge, but they put 9 in there? Good question.
Isn't 10 still technically hurt? Isn't he still...
maybe that's why. Yeah, that's Cody Vance
or
Preston Vance, yeah.
And so that guy 9 has now a victory over the Young Bucks, FTR, Hangman Page, and Kenny Omega.
If anyone knows, I want to know who the hell 9 was, because he was fucking awful. I hope Jim Cornette just rips that apart when he.
The storyline here is I forget which one of the FTR guys got hurt, but he got hurt. So when he gets hurt, both FTR guys go to the back and they stay in the back, and Hangman goes in the back with him. So for a while it's 6-on-3, Kenny and the Bucks against the whole Dark Order, and
do you think it's a legit injury?
To fight back.
No,
not at all.
I mean, he made it look good because when he was holding him, his knee buckles for a second.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing of. Hangman goes to back too with him.
No. I'm saying is the knee injury legit?
No.
because when he was holding him, his knee did give out.
Because the whole
And then
reason, that's just being a good worker.
It looked. He sold it like as someone who like watches sports and
Yeah.
like sees injuries. He made it look absolutely perfect.
Yeah,
absolutely
because
perfect.
why would Hangman go to back to?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
For storyline purposes.
for storyline
that was the entire storyline of the matches.
Yeah,
built
Hangman
around
comes
that
back.
injury.
Yeah, you'll see
So
next
they-
week when FTR wrestles and they're perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So then Paige goes for the last call on Brody when Hangman does eventually come back. He goes for the last call on Brody. Brody ducks, hits the discus clothesline. Dark Order gets the win. After this, we go backstage, and the best friends are arriving in Sue's van, Trent's mom.
Yeah.
John Moxley cuts a pretty good promo, I thought, talking about how basically Darby Allin reminds him a lot of him when he was younger. He's going to tell him not to do it, but he's going to do it anyway, as far as like not giving up when he needs to. Then we had best friends beat Santana and Ortiz. Is Ortiz the one with the big fro?
Yeah,
Yes.
Santana's the one with the shorter hair.
Yes.
Ortiz's facial expressions are so good.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are. I thought this match
He reminds me of like Hollywood John Tatum.
I think they're a good team, man. I really like them. They've grown on me.
zoning out a lot, and this match went a little too long for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like fine wrestlers, but I don't know. This combination.
I think
of
it was too many
teams,
tag team matches in one night.
Yeah,
too,
I was
for me.
zoning out.
And then next week is the Salute the Tag Wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just if you're gonna do all tag team next week, you probably shouldn't have had.
Break it up. Like put maybe a women's
not-
match between.
It's not going to be all tag, but because you have like some of your big matches. I know they're doing Orange Cassidy and Jericho's
Yeah.
next week.
Well, your one tag team match went on for 4.5 days, so that kind of took
Yeah.
a lot of steam out of it too.
That'll do it. And then they had another MJF skit. Basically, he's campaigning for champion like he's running for president.
I didn't like it.
And he
Really?
fires
No.
somebody.
I liked it, but it was maybe a little cheesy
Why is he campaigning when he already has the title shot?
because it's an election year and they want to.
It's exactly. That's why I thought it just fell flat.
No, I
like-
If there was a
I like the
storyline
one
where
line
if there was a whole, I'm sorry, Brian. If there was a whole storyline where people had to go online and vote for the next champion, and then he was campaigning to get votes, and then no matter who won the votes, MJF somehow
But
swindled
then
it
you'd
anyway.
have to have the other guy do the same gimmick too. Then.
Exactly. So I just think it's I don't know. I just to have signs up at every. I don't know. I think it's just he's a better guy than that. You don't have to put that stupid thing. I wasn't into it.
I like it, but I don't like the other people. I like that the guy was separating the M&Ms or Skittles. And he was
Yeah.
separating the green from them.
Yeah.
And the girl can't act. I'm like, if she's a wrestler, can't you find someone better?
Yeah.
I don't mind. I kind of like it because it's the whole election thing. It's
Yeah.
going for it. So.
And
Yeah.
somebody goes, "What if Darby wins? Like, that'd
Yeah.
be a real
Oh,
shame if the 125-pound emo kid wins the
Yeah.
title."
So that kind of makes like MJF wants Darby to win because he figures I could beat Darby faster. I can beat
Yeah.
Moxley.
Yeah.
And then we had a kind of a brawl between Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara.
Which
Where
legit cut Matt.
Yeah,
I thought
Sammy
he
throws the
bladed
chair.
there, but apparently they said that it legitimately cut him because there was a ton of blood, like way too much blood.
Oh yeah.
And if Moxley was gonna bleed in the main event, they probably wouldn't have did this. You know?
Yeah. Supposedly, Sammy got in some heat backstage
That's what they said. Like
because I guess he really chucked the chair.
you must have. Yeah, I gotta
And
go
then
back and rewatch
once
it.
Matt, I guess, seen it, realized he was cut, he sold it.
Yeah, well, he had to.
Yeah.
he did that was money. I mean,
Yeah,
he was bleeding there.
he was probably like, yes, thank you, Sam. Like he's probably not mad at Sammy at all. He's probably like, this just made our match even
Yeah.
better. You know what I mean? Because old school Matt realizes that's a gold mine. But I guess the AEW execs didn't like what happened, and Sammy got in some heat.
I think they also may have said one too many shits. I think they were allowed 2 shits.
Yeah, there was a
And
couple lot.
Yeah,
I think they had 3 on this one because one of them is right here, where lo and behold, who would have thunk it? Santana Ortiz busted up Trent's mom's car.
Yeah, the destruction of a car, which is like becoming the thing in wrestling.
Yeah.
You gotta destroy that car.
The one thing I will give them credit for is they threw the sledgehammer through the windshield and it stuck.
Yeah, that was,
That
pretty
was
cool.
great.
I like when anytime like in wrestling when a guy has a sledgehammer, like, oh, this window will shatter immediately. Not the front one. That's
Nope.
built to be hit.
yep.
So that's why it takes a couple hits. Like,
It just kind of splatters in
Yeah.
each spot.
But they did. I like the spray paint on it, kind of like NWO, which they wrote Sue and then crossed out
Crossed
Sue.
out Sue,
That was
yeah.
kind of funny.
I'm excited for that match. I think they're gonna be fun in the ring together.
But here's the other thing: like you just seen the match. How do you want to see it again?
Yeah,
That's what I'm thinking. Like,
yeah, I agree. I guess the
Maybe
tag
the
team
thing with like
thing's
they're
holding
putting
some
cars
people
up on the line against each other.
yeah. Oh boy.
There was that one match they did when they would do the pay-per-view in Sturgis. They did Medusa against Akira Hokuto, and Medusa had her Harley, and
Okay, yeah.
Do you
and
think?
Akira Hokuto had like a Kawasaki or something? That's the kind of Japanese bike. And obviously, if they destroy the Harley, that crowd's going to riot.
Yeah.
So Medusa wins, and they beat up the Japanese bike.
Did you do you think at some point in time, because his hair is becoming such a thing, do you think because they like doing that old school stuff, Ortiz
like
wrestles
hair-
for his hair?
Probably, I could see that. Because it is outrageous.
Because he just keeps letting it get bigger and bigger and bigger, and he's like wrestling with it, and they seem to really like to pull out those old school.
Yeah, hair versus hair. I
Yeah.
can see that definitely.
So I think
It's starting to remind me of Haku when he came back to
Yeah.
WWE.
When he comes out of the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Oh my.
So if a hair match happens, you heard it here first. Tornado Type Podcast.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk about hair matches today.
Yeah. That one I actually think it'll work.
Yeah, the other one's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
But that one, that I could definitely see that. So the next match was another tag match, and it was very, very long, probably a little too long. Matt
Skip.
Cardona and Cody defeat Alex Reynolds and John Silver of Dark Order.
Yeah, so this was way too long because the John Silver and Alex Reynolds are really beating the elite. Like they're like John Silver, the smaller one. He's a great talker, and I'm like, they should have him cut a promo for this because he's a great talker, but you're not utilizing that at all. And then, if you're just watching Dynamite, you're like, well, that's a job tag team. Why is it taking Cody and this new hot superstar, former Zack Ryder, so long to beat this job tag team? Like it should have been Cody comes in, does a little bit, tags in Matt or Zack Ryder, whatever, Matt Ryder. It doesn't matter. He should come in, do all his moves, hit his finish. That's it. 3 minute stops.
Absolutely.
You're like Jim Ross. Jim Ross is like, I almost cut him by another name.
Yeah. So like this match, like what did it do for Zack Ryder? You're like, oh, that's the guy in WWE that didn't do good. Now he's not doing good in here.
Yeah.
Like,
he needs to work on his legs. He looks so unproportionate. His upper body is
It
so
is
huge,
yeah.
and his legs are so tiny.
Just get some tights, get some long tights.
Yeah.
But I don't
Or
know.
those old ones they had with like half long tights,
Oh
half
God.
short tights.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, why should or let him talk? Maybe like if it would have been a quick 3 minute match and then let him talk a little bit.
Can he go out there and talk and not do the woo 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 woo?
Yeah, I don't know.
That might be his issue.
Because like you're in AEW now, it's like okay, you kind of have to wrestle.
Yeah.
You can't just come out and do like a couple moves and I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna work out for him.
I don't have high hopes.
Me either. And I never really was a fan, but who knows?
I think his partner's gonna do a lot better in Impact.
I don't know.
Kurt Hawkins. I don't know what his
I don't know what his course is there, but like
I think they'll utilize him better.
probably. I don't know if he's any better in the ring. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. From what I've seen when they would wrestle, he seemed more of a bright spot than
Yeah.
Matt. I
Like
don't know.
Zack Ryder is totally like a WWE guy.
Yeah.
Like he's big, but like he just comes in and does a couple of moves. Like have a Miz match. Like a Miz match isn't bad, just not entertaining.
Yeah. All right. Next topic. Next segment.
Yeah, as they were making the run to the back after winning the match, they had a little stare down with Cody and Scorpio Sky. And that is going to be a match next week. That's another one of the singles matches next week is Scorpio Sky is going to be the next
So
challenger.
if Cody is getting his just absolute ass whooped by all these dudes who are not weekly guys in the show, then legit Scorpio Sky should be your next champion.
if two underneath guys that haven't beat anybody almost beat Cody and Zack Ryder.
Honestly, I know it's never going to happen, but I honestly think Scorpio Sky would be an awesome champion there.
Oh, yeah, I think so. I think he will eventually be champion.
I think he's a good undercard, good mid-card title.
Yeah, I think he'll win the TNT title at some point and then win the main title.
Next week, that's like what the 13th I think is going to be. No, the 12th. Isn't that when they're supposed to have the new belt?
Yeah. Next week they said because this week was taped already, so next week will be live.
Does AEW have any? Or no, they have a Japanese woman. They don't have any people of color as champion right now.
Well, they only have 3 titles. So.
Yeah,
you're kind of limited there. I mean,
I'm just wondering if that would be something they get pressured into.
Well, Scorpio Sky was first tag champ.
Yeah.
I mean, what can you do? I mean, either title's gonna be in a white guy or a black guy. I mean, you can't be in both.
And listen, this is not me saying that it has to be that way, but also in pro wrestling, when she went out there, I mean, I'm not saying that they did it on purpose, or maybe they did, because it's always that feel good moment. You know, you're always trying to play into it a little bit. But what's her name committed suicide, and then and then she wrestled Nyla for the belt. I was like, and they did the whole thing where like she's doing it for her. I was like, she's winning the belt.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Well, yeah,
So I mean, sometimes pro wrestling will change a title to kind of appease what's going on in the world. Sometimes too.
You know, I get it, but then sometimes you can't pander because then people are like, well, now you're pandering.
Yeah,
and it does seem like that's a title where they've really kind of been a lot more diverse with it, where your first champion was a Japanese woman, your second champion was a multiracial trans woman, and then your third champion is a Japanese woman.
Yes, I mean there is.
Here's the thing with
diversity
the
there
with the Impact or the TNT title, so not Impact title. I understand why they're doing what they're doing with Cody, where people are taking him to the limit because what he's doing is letting somebody get an opportunity and kind of let them work. So I understand from like the business standpoint why he's doing it, but from a booking standpoint, it doesn't make Cody look like a strong champion.
It didn't make Cody look any better or Zack Ryder any better.
Yeah.
Matt Cardona. Like, I thought John Silver and Alex Reynolds came out looking better.
Yeah, if anyone should be out there right now, possibly like winning matches, but maybe just squeaking by, that should be your Matt Hardy, because he has nothing else to win or lose. If he goes out there and I've been searching the universe for somebody, and then he's like, this guy was wrestling in the Independents, and then he comes out and he fights a guy, and the guy takes Matt Hardy to the limit, but Matt Hardy squeaks out a win at the end.
Yeah.
It doesn't do nothing for Matt Hardy because it could be like, well, he's kind of older, you know what I mean? He's maybe getting close to his prime, and he's the older guy putting over a younger talent. I don't think your potential VP of your company and the guy who's Dusty Rhodes' kid should be out there almost getting taken to the limit by every guy in the independent
every
scene.
guy shouldn't. Like, it would do more for Cody to beat a couple guys in like 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
But I think he wants to have those matches that Ric Flair had on Worldwide.
Yeah, it's
week.
like
I think that's what's
it's
in
like
it.
that's great, but then you gotta wrestle people of the caliber.
Yeah, now you're gonna go out there and you're gonna beat a guy like fucking
Kim Sabian,
the Warhawk, and then you're beating him, but then Warhorse is taking it to the absolute limit, and you're bleeding all over the place.
And no one ever seen Warhorse before.
Exactly. It's just, like I said, I understand why they're doing it to help out the younger guys and get them.
It's cool, but you could still do that. Like if I was on there, I wrestled Cody and he beats me 3 minutes, I wouldn't be upset.
No, I would actually.
I'm a nobody there.
If I walked in and I'd be like, Cody, can you beat me in less time? Like we shouldn't have a 15. Like I appreciate the fact you're giving me a 15-minute match and I'm getting stuff over, but you're fucking Cody Rhodes.
And I can see if it was like a heel and then instructor ref low blow and then you're working on his leg or something. That's a little different.
Like they kind of did with Clutch Adams when he went to dark, where he kind of got some offense in because he was cheating because he's a bad guy.
And that's okay. And then Cody gets the better of him. Or unless the guy's real huge. Like let's say it was what's that guy from Brody King? Yeah, the guy's like clearly bigger. Okay, well now maybe.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's
little John Silver.
Let's get moving here because we are getting a little long.
Then we had the Best Friends cut a promo, just promising revenge,
and it was not good. They are not good at serious promo. I felt like it was kind of
hard. It was kind of hard to be serious over the circumstances where I promised and my mom's van wouldn't get destroyed. So it was kind of like they were doing comedy without trying to do comedy because they were trying to act serious in a situation that should have been funny.
I don't know. It just this didn't work for me at all because I'm like, well, you don't sound upset at all, so why should I care when you don't care?
Yeah.
Like
then we had a definite highlight of the show, the debate.
Yes.
Justin Roberts introduces your moderator, Eric Bischoff.
Easy.
He played it very straight. It was very cool to see Eric Bischoff on TNT after all these years. It was very, very fun to see that. And so the whole gimmick of the debate is that Bischoff is giving these very straight up questions. Why do you two hate each other so much? Who's the bigger star? Who's the better wrestler? Jericho gives these impassioned responses, and Orange Cassidy says nothing. And then in comedy, the third one's always the joke. So the third question of the debate was about the danger of rising sea levels. And Jericho's like, this is a ridiculous question. And Orange Cassidy just really
spouts off this whole thing.
Seriously.
Yeah, about like the rising sea tides. He said it very monotone, which made it great. I was like, wow, this is hilarious.
Here's
my of the 10 largest cities are in coastal communities.
Yeah.
Here's where the only thing with this segment kind of bummed me out. The internet community already knew that Eric Bischoff was going to be your special guest announcement.
Yeah.
So when he finally showed up, it was just this is where the dirt sheets kind of bother me because if that was something they would have kept under wrap and nobody would have known, and Eric Bischoff, then it would have made the segment probably even better than what it was.
Yeah.
But Eric Bischoff, even if they wouldn't have gotten leaked, would have been one of my first guesses, if not my first guess.
Yeah. So it was kind of disappointing in my aspect that's where sometimes
I think they should have probably just advertised it. Eric Bischoff's got to moderate this.
Yeah. That's where sometimes the online dirt sheets and where people pry and find stuff out. That's where we talked about it a while ago. That's where it bothers me. Where if Eric Bischoff would have walked out, I'd been like, oh, okay. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like when Taz showed up.
I knew, so I was like,
yeah. It was still a good.
And then
it was still fun.
At the end of it all, Jericho and Hager beat up Orange and
you forget
leave him laying.
Orange cuts an actual promo then.
Oh yeah, he cut an actual promo at the end.
Yeah, and it was good.
There's
and
a few of the shots
you're
gonna
get beat by a guy who puts his hands in his pockets.
Some of the shots he took look legit too.
Yeah,
like when what's his name hit him in the corner, I thought it legit connected, and then when Jericho hit the elbow, it looked like it legit connected too. It was
But
Orange Cassidy has sold that elbow better than anybody else by a mile.
Yeah, that looked awesome. But when he was
even in the match, he sold it really well.
When he was cutting his promo, and they showed Jericho, I was like, "What?" And then of course, Bischoff says he declares him the winner and stuff. It was a great segment.
My highlight was, I don't know what you put in that stupid orange juice, but it seems to get my jacket more orange and orange by the week.
And he goes, "You're gonna go back to being Jim the Jamba Juice guy," which may or may not be his real name.
Yeah. What, Jim? Yeah.
No, his last name really is the Jamba Juice guy.
Yeah, so I was like, that's a cool little thing.
His first name was actually Orange.
Yeah, and then Orange Jamba Juice.
Oh, Billy, what's going on, man? Yo, Billy, is the stream on your end, like when you're listening, is like, does the audio sound like shit? Because I try to re-listen to it and it sounded awful on my end.
Like Wayne's World?
But yeah, while he's answering that, let's go to the next thing.
And I love the little back and forth between Jericho and Bischoff too. Like, I've hated you for 22 years. It's like it's 24.
Yeah. So it was pretty good. It was a great
the next thing was the thing where Britt Baker is going to make Big Swole go through somebody in order to get a chance at wrestling her at All Out. Of course, as we all would have predicted, it was Big Swole against Reba.
Yeah.
And
who had to act like she don't know how to wrestle. And then Taz's like, well, she's had 100 matches, but she hasn't done it in a while. Well, you still kind of know how to get in the ring.
It didn't do much for me, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, it wasn't much, but Taz shouldn't have said that. It's just, oh, she doesn't know how to wrestle. What's she going to do? Blah, 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 blah. I did like that Big Swole had tuxedo mask from Sailor Moon gear. And
yeah.
I was like, she looks pretty cool. But yeah, the match was, I guess it was supposed to be a slow, goofy, bad match. So
yeah.
What can you do?
All right. Next segment.
And then your main event, the main event of the whole thing was Jon Moxley retaining the AEW World Title over Darby Allin.
Yeah, Moxley cut a great promo about like
very impassioned promo. Yeah, you're basically like he saw a lot of himself in
Darby Allin, and it stay down
Allin.
When it's time to stay down, stay down. But I know you won't
because I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
I thought honestly, like there's some weeks because I wasn't huge on Dean Ambrose.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was some weeks where I was like, okay, he got me, and then some weeks I'm like, oh.
Yeah, especially at the end, it was bad.
At AEW when he first came in, I was like, this is just more of the same things than WWE I didn't like. And then he cut that promo, and then the match he had with Darby was, I liked the match. I thought it told a good story.
Yeah,
I was into it.
By the way, if you want to see Rebel in an even worse match, or Reba, when she was Rebel, go back to Impact Wrestling. Shelly Martinez against Rebel. Yeah. It is the worst Impact match this side of Jenna Maraska against Sharmell.
I was gonna bring up. Oh boy, Shelly Martinez, not a good wrestler.
All right, well let's get into NXT because we're getting a little long.
AEW was pretty good. I don't think it was a great show. It wasn't excellent. But it was pretty good.
It was a good show, but it was fine.
It was a good show. It was a good show. Spoiler alert. I preferred NXT this week over AEW.
That's just not spoiler alert because there's no spoiler to be spoiled.
Yeah.
I thought the wrestling was quite a bit better on NXT.
Oh.
Yeah, I think the angle at the end, we'll get to it, was pretty good. But the Jericho thing was so much fun.
It was.
I don't really. It's not a pissing contest anymore. I just love watching both.
Exactly.
Shows.
Yeah.
It's not who
you can watch both and enjoy both.
Yeah. It's
you don't
not
have to
who
pick one or the other.
It's not who wins every week. Honestly, we're winning as wrestling fans.
Although both shows' ratings were up.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's great.
During
AEW is very close to 1 million again.
Yeah.
They're up, and it's during a time in the world where sports are coming back, which is interesting to see that wrestling's still doing well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wish the Raw and SmackDown ratings would be the AEW and NXT ratings. That'd be awesome. But I mean, people are so just conditioned to watch Raw wrestling on Monday nights. So.
Yep. All right, let's get into it. NXT.
The first match was to determine Io Shirai's challenger at NXT TakeOver. A little bit of an upset, although you've probably seen it coming with the booking. Dakota Kai defeats Rhea Ripley thanks to interference from Mercedes Martinez. So it looks like we're going to do a Rhea and Mercedes feud, which should be quite good.
Yeah.
I like it, but I just Rhea's on a huge losing streak ever since she lost the title. So, and I kind of want Mercedes to kind of climb up and possibly get a title. So I think for me, I want to see the match, but it's like bittersweet because Mercedes is not beating Rhea Ripley, and it sucks.
I don't know about it's tough because Rhea they have really cooled her off something crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, they have.
So
are they just waiting until Charlotte gets back to
I don't know.
Put them back together?
I think when Charlotte comes back, she just goes to the main TV.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think she goes back to NXT, but
it just feels like they gave up on Rhea. Really.
Or does she go to main roster, Charlotte, and then Rhea goes to main roster as well?
Hopefully, I just want to see more. I would love to see Mercedes Martinez have like go back to like a really long streak of a champion. Like she could be the next Asuka or Shayna Baszler. You know what I mean? Like she could be a monster.
I don't see that happening. But
I don't
think
either.
It's nice
Me
that
either.
she's getting a push and getting a big role here.
Yeah, I think she'll sniff the title, but I don't know if she'll ever win it.
I don't think so. Which is it's a shame.
And Rhea's young and still has a lot of room to develop, and putting her with somebody like Mercedes is going to... NXT is still a place to learn for a lot of people, and she's going to learn a lot with Mercedes Martinez.
Yeah. I know one of I just call him the 2K guy, the guy who makes all the 2K posts.
Okay, yeah.
What's his first name?
Cody?
Yeah, Cody. He had hints of the stable being the Undisputed Era with Tessa Blanchard. And I said, that's too good to be true, but I wouldn't mind it.
I wouldn't mind it, and it could be. I think it will be, in their minds, probably change a few times before they actually debut who it is.
Because there is a woman in that stable. It's a bunch of guys, and you hear a girl talking.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, now, I mean...
But who knows? Like you said,
when we get there, it could be... It's Hogan.
Yeah. But we'll get into
We're taking over again,
dude. We're here, brother.
We're going to burn down this nicely stacked pile of boxes.
All right, let's get our next segment going.
You had a little thing backstage where you don't see what they're talking about, but Pat McAfee is talking with Shawn Michaels. And then you had Bronson Reed, who was in the North American title ladder match, defeating Shane Thorne in a battle of the Aussies.
Good match. I don't know much about Shane Thorne, but I thought they both put a great show on.
He's one of the Everrise guys,
Okay.
right?
No, he used to be in the Mighty Don't Kneel TM61.
Okay, yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was a good match. I'm into the thick boy. I like him.
I only seen him wrestle once, and I was like, he ain't bad.
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
Shane Thorne kind of got the rug pulled out from under him when his partner quit and went to New Japan.
Yeah.
Wanted to go back to. Are they? I don't even know if they're from Australia. I thought they're from New Zealand.
Yeah,
Maybe they
New
are from
Zealand,
Australia.
because he's not in wrestling for New Japan right now. He's
Yeah.
still on a contract, but I guess he can't leave New Zealand. I don't blame him because there's no corona there.
Yeah. All right, next segment.
Damian Priest defeated Oni Lorcan and Ridge Holland, as we predicted last week.
Yeah.
To advance into the ladder match for the North American title.
Interesting.
I was going to say, not to jump ahead, but did they announce that Dexter Lumis is hurt on the show?
Not
Yes.
yet. Okay.
To jump ahead, Dexter Lumis is out. Hurt his ankle. What they're doing is they're going to do like basically anybody who was, because they're doing all these 3-ways, the person that wasn't involved in the fall. So Ridge Holland, Finn Balor, Johnny Gargano, and whoever is the person that isn't involved in the fall in the next 3-way. They're going to have 2 singles matches, and then those winners of those get put in. So it's
who do you think fills in?
There's one mystery guy. I don't know. Who would
What I would put in right now, I would put in the
I'd put
submission.
Balor in because he could do a lot of cool stuff in the ladder match.
I would put the submission guy in.
for the mystery spot?
Oh, Thatcher. You can't.
Thatcher.
Thatcher took the fall.
Oh, he really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, then Finn Balor. Or Gargano. It's Takeover. Put Gargano in there. Mr. Takeover. He doesn't.
Velveteen Dream, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then we had the NXT champion in a non-title match. Keith Lee beat Cameron
In the middle of the
Grimes.
card, which is a weird spot for it, but it is what it is.
Well, because they had the big angle at the end.
Yeah.
That's why they were going to definitely close with that.
That's the main
And so after Keith Lee gets the win here, you get a Karrion Kross vignette where he's basically just saying,
I'm gonna kill everyone in this locker room that you don't know.
Yeah.
and the panic. The camera pans and like there's just bodies everywhere, but nobody like.
Yeah.
He like beat up catering.
I thought I saw Oni Lorcan there.
Oh,
I thought
did
I saw a guy with like American flag tropes. Maybe it was Danny Burch.
Yeah, it's all black and white, so it's tough to really tell.
Yeah,
But yeah, it looks like he just beat up catering.
Okay. Well, probably.
Yeah.
He didn't get it. They ran out of food, so he beat up everyone that got food.
He beat up 205 Live.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And he's just like, you can't believe you beat up catering.
Yeah.
You're gonna get this damn shot.
One thing they also did is they did a thing, and it's kind of spiced throughout everything, is that El Legado del Fantasma beat up Breezango, and they carry Fandango out to the ring, and they talk about how lucha culture is important. It's not a gimmick to be exploited.
Yeah.
Basically, they're just starting a feud with Breezango and these guys, and it looks like instead of Drake Maverick being the third with them, it's going to be Swerve.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Lucha thing. Heritage is important, so we're all going to take off our masks and throw them away.
Yeah. We're not gonna wear our masks, but our lucha. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't get that either. All right, let's move on.
Another women's match here. Tegan Knox beat Indy Hartwell.
Good match.
I'm not familiar.
Well,
with
it was the match it should have been. Tegan just went out and looked big.
Yeah. Well, good.
Right.
Because she's the #1 contender, right?
Exactly. So she shouldn't have went out there.
Well, no, Dakota Kai's the number one.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, but Tegan's climbing.
Yeah.
So instead of
Tegan just lost the title match.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
instead of Tegan going out there and getting Cody Rhodes, she
Yeah.
did exactly how they should have booked
She
it.
go out there and get tested the limit by Jill Nobody.
Yeah. So she just went out there and killed this girl.
Yeah, she just lost to Io, so now she's getting her a little bit of her heat back.
Well, good.
Yeah.
I like Tegan.
It's the way you should do it. Yeah, it's actually booking properly.
Exactly.
And then, the next triple threat qualifying match is going to be next week. It's Kushida, Cameron Grimes, and a mystery opponent.
Ooh.
And then it's going to be whoever doesn't get the pinned or submitted in that match will go against either Gargano, Balor, or Ridge Holland. And then the winner of that match is in, and then the other two that aren't in that match, it's very confusing.
Yeah. And then,
but it'll be good matches.
Yeah.
Hey, I would love to see Kushida and Gargano or Kushida and Balor.
Yeah,
I agree.
And then in our main event, also next week, Danny Burch and Karrion Kross. I guess it was Danny Burch got laid out. That's going to be him going for revenge.
Okay.
And also, they are going to be doing Bronson Reed and Damian Priest instead of two guys that have qualified.
They talked a little shit in the parking lot to each other. He said, "Hey, congratulations, good luck," and then Damian Priest's like, "Whatever, brother.
Whatever.
I'm gonna kill you.
I'll see you next week.
Kill you." And he's like, "Are you supposed to be?"
Bring low key.
Yeah. It was. I don't know.
So
the match
depending on who the mystery opponent is, I guess Cameron Grimes wins that match.
Okay. Yeah.
If we're following the pattern, the worst worker wins.
Cameron Grimes has that.
Kushida's screwed.
Yeah.
Kushida
Might as well go back to Japan.
All right, let's wrap this up.
Really good tag match here. You had Imperium against Undisputed Era, kind of both heels, so you just kind of pretty much straight up match.
And for how good the match was,
here,
is the story, yeah.
Yeah, the big story here is Pat McAfee is on commentary and Adam Cole is at ringside with the Undisputed Era. And so they're talking about how Adam Cole and Pat McAfee have their dust up on Pat McAfee's show, but they've patched things up. But as it's happening, Pat McAfee's kind of being a dick, and he's talking shit about Adam Cole. And eventually the announcers go, he's like 20 feet away from you. He can hear you, right?
Beth Phoenix gets away from commentary. She said, "I'm not cool with this. I'm not okay with you just talking shit on our talent," and pretty much walks away from the commentary's table.
And Adam Cole's just staring at him like, what the hell, dude?
Yeah, Adam Cole's starting to hear what's happening. Yeah.
So eventually,
but here's the thing.
Adam Cole's like,
I've been in the ring, and I can't hear the commentators.
Well, he's standing next to the ring. He's playing valet tonight. Him and Roger Strong.
I thought it was on commentary.
No,
Pat McAfee.
Adam Cole was managing. He wasn't wrestling.
Yeah. Oh.
So Adam Cole is like.
Okay,
so they have them right behind the glass
O'Reilly
wall.
and Fisher wrestling.
They have him right behind the glass wall, and there's really nobody in between them.
Yeah.
And then he's standing on the turn, like right at the post. So
Yeah.
he's literally.
They actually kind of use the mostly empty arena thing to their advantage. Here.
Okay, but that kind of makes sense. But
And Pat was being.
Yeah, still like you're in the heat of the moment.
You could ask some managers if they hear commentary. Probably not.
Yeah, but I guess.
I know, like. The one night at PPW, like when we were sitting right behind the commentators, we barely heard them.
Yeah,
and we're directly behind them.
Yeah,
and we're not wrestling. So
now here's where I'll play.
But for the storyline, I get it.
Now here's where I'll play devil's advocate. If I was in a storyline where you or me and you, like I'm not a wrestler, right? But in the storyline, I've been using my platform to talk shit on you.
Yeah.
And then you come to the ring and I'm there.
Yeah.
You're visibly going to be keeping an ear out of what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's hard to actually do.
So, but with the empty arena, I think it worked well. But yeah, so that's pretty much what happened. So Roderick Strong keeps saying, "No, ignore him, just keep." And then Adam Cole just like, "Give me 1 second," and he goes over, and he's just like, "What's your problem, dude?" And then Pat McAfee's like, "No problem." Like now he's playing victim, and he's like, "No problem here, dude. I'm just having fun." And he's like, "No, you're talking shit."
Now,
like
I know you guys know him. I know him from Holy Gun. I think he's very annoying.
I think that's his shtick.
Is that his shtick normally?
They're turning into that. They're turning into that.
Which
and they're making him annoying by design.
Yeah, he has to be the heel no matter what. Because whenever a non-wrestling entity comes into wrestling, they're the heel.
Yeah. So Adam Cole is just pretty much like, you know what, man? Like you're, like he's still trying to just like, come on, man. Like I'm trying to be cool with you here. And then he's like, and then Adam Cole's like, you know, F this. And he goes to walk away. And he goes, wow, what an angry little elf he is. And he goes, oh, really? Another fucking short joke? And then they kind of get into a thing, and Pat McAfee's doing the whole, I didn't mean it. So then he kind of separates. Adam Cole, then he kind of says, Adam Cole
throws water at him.
Yeah, Adam Cole throws the water at him, and then there's some words over the comment, like he's on one side of the commentary table and he's on the other. Not where you normally sit. It's the opposite ends now. while this is happening, now Undisputed Era gets rolled up because they're distracted. And
yeah. Oh, by the way, there's a match going on, and
Yeah.
then O'Reilly and Fisher distracted, and that leads to Imperium winning.
Imperial winning. Then during this, Pat McAfee says, "You know what? I'm going to say what I feel now." And then he comes full dick mode. He's like, "You're a piece of shit. You're small. You're never going to be anything. You're a piece of garbage."
He called him a tiny, itty bitty, short little bitch.
You're never
Yeah.
gonna be
Exactly
anything
what he
except
called him.
for the longest reigning NXT.
Yeah, and
champion.
every single company you've been in, you've been their longest reigning champion. So then Adam Cole goes to jump across the table to get at him, where everyone kind of holds him down. So Adam Cole is now trying to scramble to get to him. Half his body's hanging over the table. Pat McAfee takes a couple steps back, like, you have no problems here. So then it kind of gives it the pathway where no one's going to stop Pat McAfee because he plays the I'm not doing anything wrong. So everyone jumps on Cole, and then Pat McAfee just runs up and just punts him because he is a professional punter, and he's not a small man. Pat McAfee's a big dude, and punts Adam Cole, and he falls like a bag of bricks and sells it perfectly. And then Triple H shoves Pat McAfee and almost takes him off his feet. Like it looked like
ready for it.
Yeah, it looked awesome. And then Pat McAfee goes, "Real classy place you guys have here. I'm out of here," and walked out. So, and then go ahead, Brian. It leads to the announcement. Oh, we lost Brian again.
Brian's
Jesus
muted. How
Christ.
about Bubba Ray and somebody else said that they thought it was a shoot?
Yeah. Ryan Satin had said
Really?
it was,
They're dumb.
he thought it was a shoot.
Yeah,
And I love Bubba Ray.
Come on now.
I think Bubba Ray might have been trying to help him a little.
Yeah,
I think
they
Bubba
might-
was like,
might-
let's just put some seeds of doubt in people's heads.
Let's hope, yeah.
And then the context with it is, like Tony was saying, Pat McAfee's job, and he was very good at it, was kicking the shit out of a football and making it fly 70 yards down a field.
He was a
So
fantastic
the idea
punter.
is he is a very powerful kicker.
Yeah, and if realistically, if he had the ability to kick the way he does, grew up playing soccer his whole life and then converted to a punter, he is an athlete. He was a punt, pass, and kick guy. I do think he is training. I don't think he said just I got drunk one night and trained with somebody. I think he is taking it a little serious.
I mean, he's been involved in a roundabout way with WWE for almost 2 years.
Well, I'm sure that
Yeah.
they set up this match ahead of time. They said, "Hey, you got to train. You can't just get in."
Yeah,
there."
so I don't have.
And plus, it's probably not going to be live, so they can cut. And they
yeah,
can redo
that's
and-
one. Yeah, one good thing.
But here's my take on it, and I'm probably the only one who feels this way. I still think Undisputed Era is breaking up, and I think the way they go about doing this is, I think Undisputed Era wants to be down there because they feel like Pat McAfee also screwed them as well. Now you just cost us an opportunity to be the 4-time tag team champions. You're letting some guy get in your head and it's destroying the group. It's costing us opportunities. It's costing us matches, and now you're going to go and wrestle this guy, and you don't want us to be there. And I think this is starting to put the seeds of doubt.
Why did he say for them not to come?
Well, no, I'm thinking that's what's going to lead to. This is my fantasy booking or what I
okay.
think is going. But I think because this whole angle to Pat McAfee to Adam Cole was, you're nothing without your team. You can't win the big one without their help. You can't. You'll never.
But
be,
now it's turning into your little guy.
Yeah, and he's making fun of it, but he's like, you'll never be Shawn Michaels because Shawn Michaels never needed a team to do it. You know what I mean? Like,
DX.
I mean, DX, Vader, not Vader. I'm sorry, DX, Sid, Diesel,
Marty Jannetty.
So, it is. You
Marty
know,
Jannetty will make a guy disappear.
Yeah.
So
That's
so
a major
I
record.
I still think it's the long-term game here is to somehow get Adam Cole out of the Undisputed Era.
But would you use Pat McAfee to do that?
No, but I think that's where the seed gets planted.
Yeah, maybe he beats Pat McAfee, and then the next night they're doing this thing like we're back, and then they just like, no, you were the champion, now you're fighting a punter. Like,
Yeah.
Do they kick
You're
him
done.
out if
We're
he
done with
loses
you.
to Pat? Oh, if he loses
I hope
to
he doesn't
Pat
lose to
Mc-
Pat.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I'm thinking Adam Cole wins that match.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Here's
Here's the thing, like, is it not really gonna bring that many viewers? Like, they brought in Gronk. Did that really help?
a difference. I think
Gronk's probably higher on the public knowledge than Pat McAfee,
definitely
right?
is, yeah.
Gronk is when it comes to NFL fans, right? So
Yes.
Gronk is definitely there. But when it comes to people who are going to actually to get an audience to listen to a podcast is not easy
Yeah.
because for how much people say podcasting are awesome,
Yeah.
they're still not mainstream.
Oh, yeah.
But there is
Yeah.
definitely a market into people who do listen to podcasts. So I think if you do listen to Pat McAfee, you probably listen to him because he is a great storyteller. He is funny. He is comic. He does talk about all types of sports, and one of his biggest things when he was a punter, like if he pinned you to the other end, because punting is all about field position. So his job is to get the ball as far downfield so the other team can start with the ball at that point. But you don't want the ball. Your trick is to try to get the end zone. There's a thing called I can't believe I'm getting it, but Andy knows zero about football, so I'm trying to do this easy. But if the ball gets punted and it goes into the other team's end zone where you score, it's a touchback. They get the ball further up the field. So your trick is to get it to bounce and stop as close to the end zone so your team can stop it. So they have to start almost with their back, so they have to go the full 100 yards, or to get it to bounce and roll and go out of bounds. It's like a coffin corner. Yeah. And he was very talented at making the ball
almost there.
His team was always so good at offense, and his defense was okay, but his field position when he did have to do it would set the team apart because your defense had to work less. He was very instrumental to his team because he was a good punter. Yeah. So but every time he would make a good punt, he always did like a wrestling taunt. Like he would do the Razor Ramon. Yeah. So he was always very embedded in wrestling culture even in the NFL. But I think his audience in the podcast realm, I think, is going to bring a crowd.
But what crowd?
And that's the bigger thing. It's
you just said, go ahead,
it's not as big of a recognition as Gronk, but he has fans that listen to his show every day.
Very loyal.
It would be like if he's not as big as like a Howard Stern, obviously.
If Joe Rogan,
millions, and
if Joe Rogan walked in,
he's a much smaller even than that. It'd be like I can't even think of a person. Like if somebody from like ESPN, that had a talk show was and a very
Marv Albert.
Somebody like that. It's more of like when Morton Downey Jr. was on Piper's Pit. Because he had a very popular talk show. It might have been the biggest talk show in the world. It was like Johnny Carson was coming in. But he had a very loyal audience. And it's a smaller audience. But if it gets an extra 50, 100,000 people tuning in to NXT, that might be enough to let him beat AEW.
I guess so. But like let's say a podcast, let's say 100,000 people listen to the podcast every week. Is 100,000 people going to come over? Probably not.
Probably not, no.
Yeah. But like Gronk, I would think that.
Well, here's the thing. He would
have brought more crossover. Even though I thought he was a super douchebag.
See, yes and no. See, to me,
but I don't know because a lot of people look down at wrestling.
Gronk has more fans. McAfee's are probably more engaged.
Okay,
that's exactly. But nail it on the head.
I'm going to say the majority of his fans are not wrestling fans; they're more football fans.
If Gronk
and they're going to that wrestling shit.
Not always, no, because his podcast fans are not. There's some people who listen to him who are not even fans of football.
Yeah, but there's also some fans that are not fans of wrestling.
Exactly, but I think the engagement of podcasters where they have that, like realistically, if Tom Brady did an appearance on Monday Night Raw, I don't think it would be big because the media thinks
huge.
It would be
Just
huge.
Tom Brady.
But like a fan of Tom Brady is not going to be like, I'm going to follow Tom Brady wherever he goes. There's going to be even some fans who are like, Tom Brady, you're an idiot. Why are you going to do that?
Yeah.
But if a guy like Ninja, because he's a streamer, I think those streamer fans are so more engaged to their fandom.
Maybe
he carries more over. So I think that's where your podcaster and your streamers and your internet personalities, they do have a lot more weight in.
But then let's say they all come over and they watch that one match, and then next week they're like, oh, well, he's not on, so I'm not watching again. Is that worth it?
That's pretty much what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is WWE is obsessed with mainstream attention. They're doing this to get on SportsCenter. They're doing this to get on SportsCenter.
And his podcast is popular, so if they can get talked about a little bit on there, it's a grab.
I mean, but to waste a takeover match on that.
Yeah, it is but it is.
I think that should be a main event of a weekly NXT.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I think there would have been a better use of it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the best we can hope for is to be not terrible.
Yeah. All right, well let's get to the end here. I know we have a match, but we are about the 2 hour 15 mark. So once again, I'm sorry, Brian. I feel like I'm Matt Damoning you every time when he was on like Jimmy Kimmel. They're like
getting bumped.
You're getting bumped. So we're gonna bump the match one more time. Next week we will talk about the match, and we'll have some fun with that. So Brian, plugs.
Murder My Dude. No new episode this week. We are taking that week layoff between seasons, but we'll be back next week, I believe, with maybe we'll take 2 weeks off, who knows. But we'll be back very soon with some more true crime comedy goodness.
I'm very behind. I'm very far behind. I got to get caught up. That's probably I've been working so hard on everything else at the shows. I have not been watching.
It's easy to get behind on stuff.
It is. It is very easy. Mm-hmm. But I do intend to go back and listen. It is my go-to weekly podcast. I was listening for a long time. Yeah. I like it. I think they do a great job. Andy.
Well, I should be like Ben. Well,
Well, you know.
The Pro Wrestling Tees, you can get your blue and gold shirt and save a little 20% on that summer code. Just go as soon as you go to Pro Wrestling Tees,
Yeah,
it'll pop right
it
up,
pops right up.
and you can get one of our 2 shirts or any other shirt there. Get the mystery shirt that we talked about, and also on YouTube, Outbreak Quarantine. I taped some more matches last week. Well, one for that, one for another wrestling thing called Def. Oh my God, Defcom or something like that. It's some other wrestling thing that's gonna start posting matches on YouTube too. So
Yep.
Popping up on YouTube more and more, but Outbreak Quarantine. Now, when I get more news on there, I want to post the other one. I think we're going to record some more matches this weekend, so they'll go up, and I think he releases 1 episode a week, usually on Friday. I think at 8 or 9.
Cool,
something like that.
On YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I have PPW The Best Of. You can check that out on WYLN or VLN, right?
WYLN.
WYLN in Hazleton, or you can check it out on Facebook or on YouTube. Where the thing to look out for this week is we're going to have some voting. You can vote on 5 matches to find out which one do you think will make the cut. If you want to go watch those matches, head over to YouTube and you can check out their entire PPW back catalog and watch some awesome, awesome matches. Check us out this Tuesday coming up next week. Myself, Andy, and in the chat, Billy Trey on Not Cool in High School. That's a bi-weekly show now, so that comes up next week. We'll display our new banner for that show as well. And check out the rest of the stuff on the network. Check the links below. Follow us on all social media, Instagram, Twitter, anywhere you listen to podcasts. I know
Friendster.
Yeah, I know the big thing. The big thing now is OnlyFans. I know the big thing now is
Journal.
Zanga.
Because we are putting the show on Facebook. Facebook is just sucking it up. So the numbers of the audio are going down. YouTube is plummeting. But I mean, people are still watching. Where YouTube, I would have maybe like 40 or 50 people watch a video and maybe like 30 or 40 listen to the audio. Facebook is getting like 200 to 300 people.
They're already on. And
it's easier. It's easier for people to watch. So if you are watching this on Facebook and you make it all the way through, thank you first off for watching a 2-hour show on Facebook. You're awesome. But take a couple more minutes and just go follow us on the rest of the platforms. Help us out. We did make a group chat. A group page on Facebook. So you type in Tornado Tag on Facebook. It's a group. It is open to everybody. If you want to share, if you know you're going to a wrestling show and you want to share it, share the page. Share merch if you're a wrestler. The page is there to be used for everything. For advertising or just to talk wrestling. If you want to, if you make a post and say, "What does everyone think of this?" and we'll
share a news article.
We'll be engaged, and you can go live if you're at places too. So the group page is there for more interaction and to have fun. Go check out also the PA Pile Driver podcast. Kurt's been hanging out here the whole time. Sorry, but I haven't been keeping an eye on that. But go check out the PA Pile Driver podcast. He posts his stuff on the group page as well, which I definitely endorse. And
he's in the chat now. I know he has a new basketball podcast, so the name is escaping me. I'm sorry, Curtis. The name is escaping me.
Yeah, he did just start a basketball podcast. I want to listen to it, man, but basketball for me is a very touchy thing because that's all I did every day of my life. And then when I
get burned out,
my joint disorder kind of fucking took me out of it. It's one of those things.
I really don't want to talk about basketball right now.
The Sixers.
Yeah.
But so it's something that like
Rim Protector podcast. Here it is.
Rim Protector podcast. But I was very heavily into basketball growing up, and then when I couldn't do it, it kind of put me in a little. That's why I kind of picked up podcasting because I had nothing else to go to. But yeah,
more of a hockey fan right now. Hockey's going really well.
Yeah, I love hockey. I mean, my team's not doing great, but we'll see.
They didn't do so great.
I didn't even know hockey was going on.
Yeah, it's back.
Out of all the sports, I like hockey because I think that's cool.
Yeah,
I don't like their sports at all. So.
And then From the Left Side podcast and Facebook page, go check them out. She just put her new merch up, so you can buy some merch from them and support them. I do have a PA Pile Driver podcast coming soon. We're just waiting for wrestling to kind of come back to normal so we can meet each other because he physically has my shirt and I physically have his. But yeah, so a lot of cool stuff. Source of support. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This has been Tornado Tag Podcast. We'll see you next week.
Adios.